Bulldogs and the Crescent Tigers. Pendleton coming off of a tough loss last week at the hands of the top-ranked in 3A BHP Bears. That final score last week was 48-7. For Crescent last week, they defeated Chesney 21-10, so a common opponent there right from the get-go for the Bulldogs. We'll talk to Coach in just a few minutes about some common opponents, just their outlook going into the game after a tough loss. David, so excited to be back with you tonight.
Excited to be with you, Sam. I'm looking forward to a matchup between young quarterbacks. You got the freshman Jace Gross for Pendleton, obviously, and for Crescent, you have the sophomore quarterback Mason Evans. Both young guys, both pretty athletic. Interesting to see how they get things done tonight.
A little bit of a historical overview between these two schools. A lot of history on the gridiron between Pendleton and Crescent. This is the 55th meeting overall between the two programs. Last season, Pendleton came out on top 41-14. The Bulldogs lead the all-time series 33-21. And the Bulldogs and Tigers played every year from 1980 to 2019, except for the 2014 and 15 seasons, respectively. So super excited to kind of add a chapter to the history books in terms of the historical matchup there in just a few minutes. As always, I'd like to take some time to thank each and every one of our sponsors. This is the Guys Pizza pregame show. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors: Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guys Pizza of Sandy Springs, Black Tie of Anderson, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Gettin Chilli Ice Cream Truck, Wes Cox Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, Foothills Church of Pendleton, Crenshaws TV and Appliances, United Community Bank, Tiger Express Wash, McDougald's Funeral Home, Outsider Coffee, and Mac.Bid. And, of course, our title sponsor, Longhorn Steakhouse of Clemson and Seneca. They bring you each and every one of our broadcasts right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. David and I had the opportunity to speak with Coach this morning on the day of the game just to catch up and record the Outsider Coffee Coaches Show. So it is now time to hear from Coach in part one of the Outsider Coffee Coaches Show as part of the pregame show brought to you by Guys Pizza of Sandy Springs.
Media voting the top-ranked team in the 3A classification. Just out of curiosity, as a football coach, what do you do with the tape from last week? Is it the kind of thing where you just throw it away? You don't look at it too much with your guys, or are there a lot of things that you can take away from the tape from a game like last week's?
No, we watch it. We watch it with the team. Obviously, we watch as a coaching staff over the course of the weekend, and then Monday after school, you sit down and you watch it, and you are truthful, and you point out places where you can get better, where a lack of execution. I mean, you can always talk about, how execution costs you, where guys are not seeing the right things or fitting in the right places, or they're not, seeing the right things when it comes to pass pro, when you've got, get multiple looks, and, what did they do coverage-wise here if you're a quarterback? And, so there's always things to learn, no matter how hard it is to watch. We're going to spend time watching it because we think it makes us better. It's no fun, for sure, to watch it, but we're, there's somebody eventually we're going to have to learn how to beat. And so you need to continue to watch that film and try to figure it out.
So kind of in that same line, like how do you guys respond this week? How do you get your guys up for this big game against Crescent tonight after probably a pretty demoralizing defeat at home last week? How do you guys respond, and what do you change from your approach last week?
Right. We talked as a staff on Sunday and spent some time kind of talking about where we are, and going into the game, we still had the opportunity to be where we thought we would be coming into the season. And that was a chance to play a game that had region championship implications. And so you put a lot of emphasis and energy into that game. And when it doesn't go your way, especially the way it went, you sit back as a staff and you start talking. And, We talked about the fact that I think we under the team that we had the first 2 weeks against Keenan and against Chesney, when that break came with the hurricane and our bye week and all that, one of our assistant coaches, Jamie Wooten, made a great point, said it didn't feel like that team that we had early in the year that we had gotten them back yet. That we seem to still be in this just kind of fog. And we had played, kind of uneven since that. We lost to Walhalla, we beat West Oak, then we lose to BHP. And so as we discussed it, and obviously I had my thoughts over the weekend, and we're talking about it as a staff, we don't, you want at times as a head coach, do you just talk to them to make yourself feel better, or do you think you can really make an impact with the words you try to speak into them? And so I decided on Monday it was important for me to talk to our team. And so before we went to practice, we just talked about the thing that Coach Wooten had brought up. We talked about just resetting where we were, because I don't think anybody out on that field thought we would be in the situation that we're in currently. And so we just kind of challenged them. We know for sure we have 3 games left. And so what are you going to do with those 3 games? You have a chance, if you can win the game tonight against Crescent, you still have a chance to be the second place team in the region and to have a home playoff game. And if you beat Crescent, if you're not second, you got a chance to still be third. And still host a playoff game. And so what does that mean to you? What does that look like? Are we willing to do these things? Are we willing to hold each other accountable? And we talked about, don't accept what's unacceptable was kind of a theme for the week. And that is how your teammates' locker looks. It is how they go about the warm-up and weightlifting class every day. How are they going through things in practice? If somebody's jumping offside, don't just make offsides in practice. Don't just make some comment to your buddy. Address it. This is your team, and I don't care if you're an offensive player. You have the right to address your defensive teammates and vice versa. And so we spent some time just really talking about that and earning the right to win every week, which is not a new theme for us. And so here's what it is. Here's the reality. And we talked about if we can get in the right place as far as a seeding situation is concerned, that, there aren't a lot of teams that if we are playing well, that we would dread seeing in the playoffs. But we got to get right over the next, couple of weeks to make sure to be in that place.
Absolutely. And in your preparation specifically for Crescent, obviously a team and a program that you guys are pretty familiar with, but also a team that has faced a lot of the same opponents that you guys have this season. So how do you avoid just comparing the 2 schedules and seeing, we as Pendleton, we beat this common opponent by almost double the margin that Crescent did? How do you avoid that becoming a distraction and kind of a cop-out per se for your team?
Yeah, I mean, it's human nature to compare, right? A plus B equals C, so B plus, or whatever, just the transitive property that you learn in math class when you're growing up. And but you got to put that to the side, because every game is a game unto itself. And this is a game that for us, and I think for them, has become kind of a rivalry game within our region. And we played them in 18 and 19 when I first got here as an offensive coordinator, and had some success in those games. We weren't in the same region for a couple of years, and then we were back. So 2 years ago down at their place, they got us. They had a pick 6 late in the fourth quarter, and we're driving, had a chance to go win the game. And then last year we had some success here, and we're hoping that it's not an every other year kind of thing. And so we got to make sure that we're ready to play. And they've got some very good athletes over there. I think they've kind of been pointing to this year as a year where they thought they were going to have a pretty fair amount of success, and so. They'll be ready to go. But all those other things, what's really been hard for us is the tape that we've gotten, because we trade the last 3 games. For us as an offensive staff, they haven't really played anybody who plays like us outside of West Oak. And so 2 of the games were against Chesney. One was against Chesney, one was against BHP, that do nothing like what we do offensively. And so we've got to go back and say, okay, well, how do we think they're going to play us based on what we've seen? We went back and watched last year's film. We're a completely different team. And then we went back and watched the film from 2 years ago down there to try to figure out kind of what it may look like. And so that's been difficult for us offensively, because a lot of times you're playing a guessing game until you get there, and then can we adjust once the game starts?
Coach, good to hear your voice. What does Crescent do well? What do they do well as a football team? And what will the Bulldogs have to do well to win this game this week?
Yeah, they are very, very athletic. They have got 4 or 5 guys, I mean, may even go to 6 guys who can really, really run. They were the 4x100 champs in the spring last year in track, and all those guys play football. And they've got some guys that have played a bunch of football. Darius Latimer, who's a running back and safety, has played, ever since he's been a freshman. He's been a varsity guy. Keontae Parks has played a lot of football for them. Tron, I can't remember what Tron's last name is, has played a bunch of football. And so they're experienced on top of being, just having a speed element, really a lot like BHP. And so they're going to try to spread us out, and they're going to try to take advantage of those matchups, and they're going to try to create space for their playmakers to go make plays. And I think I think from the things I've heard over the course of the season from other coaches who have played them, they've been really trying to find themselves offensively, and I think they feel like they have. And then defensively, they're going to play us man, play a lot of man free. They're going to make you they want to force you to try to throw the ball down the field. And then they're going to try to put 6, 7, 8 guys in the box and try to muddy things up for you in the running game to try to force you then to throw the ball over their heads. And they're really long at corner. Like I said, they've got some guys even at outside linebacker, strong safety that can really run. And so, we're going to have to execute, and we're going to have to make plays when we get the opportunities and make sure the ball's not on the ground, and, all the cliche things that football coaches say.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much. That's it for the first half of the Outsider Coffee Coaches Show here on the Guys Pizza pregame show. We'll be back at halftime with more of Coach's thoughts.
Samuel Goodrow, David Poley, back with you live here from Gary and Kathy Adams Field at Crescent High School. A beautiful field and surrounding area here in Ivor, South Carolina. Just about 6.5 minutes between kickoff between the Crescent Tigers and our Pendleton Bulldogs. Crescent comes in 3-4, 1-1 in the region. As we know, Pendleton 3-4 as well, 1-2 in the region. David, Coach talked about just how important this game is, both for the direction of the program at Pendleton and for this season in general.
Very important game for both sides. Of course, for Crescent, it's your senior night, and you're playing a difficult opponent. It's not a usual cupcake game that a team would schedule for a senior night. For the Bulldogs, you really need a win here. You can get back to 500, both as an overall record and in your region. You can move to 2-2, and you really need the momentum going into the last game of the season, where you're going to go and you're going to play Blue Ridge next week, where you can get above 500, and every win matters for seeding in the playoffs, which you know that they're going to make, but it's about what you do when you get there and how can you put yourself in the best position possible.
Senior night here at Crescent High School, about 5.5 minutes away from kickoff between the Tigers and the Bulldogs. Last week was obviously kind of a rough go of it, just all the way around. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Do you need to see an early start for Pendleton, or do you expect a little rust? What are you thinking in general in terms of your expectations about the offense?
I think one of the biggest problems for the offense has been the slow starts. When you get behind early and you're forced to throw it, or you're not able to establish the run, you don't really have a direction that you can go other than slinging it and playing from desperation mode for the remainder of the football game. Now, today, the offensive line has a chance against a team that isn't as big in Crescent as a lot of the teams that they've recently been facing. The offensive line is going to be huge in having guys just moved around the ball as the Tigers only have 5 sacks on the season, only 5 sacks from a defensive standpoint. So they're not too big, they're not too aggressive. This offensive line is going to have a chance to really showcase what they're made of against an opponent of a similar stature that isn't maybe the most daunting pass rush.
Captains now taking the field for Crescent. They have their entire senior class, but up front is number 15, Josiah Davis, number 12, number 8, Darius Latimer, number 2, Tron Paul, and number 28, Elijah Lawrence. For the Bulldogs is number 5, the star defensive end, Trent Garner, number 9, the running back, Bray Spear, linebacker number 13, Dax Allen, and senior offensive lineman number 73, Garrett Ray. About 3 minutes and 45 seconds away from kickoff. Dave, it is time for your keys to the game.
Absolutely, Sam. The first key to the game has to be short memories for both sides. Obviously, Crescent coming off of 21-10 win last week against Chesney, but you can't look at that game and be like, okay, we beat the team that Pendleton beat to start the season. We didn't beat them as well. No, you got to forget it, and you got to focus on the game to here and then now. With Pendleton, obviously, you want to forget everything about BHP last week, and you want to focus on having a competitive and winning football game here tonight. Second, be tough. Run the ball well and stop the run. That's the thing that tough teams do. You hear it all the time in the NFL. You got to run the ball and stop the run. Are you going to be able to do that? Obviously, Pendleton likes to throw it, likes to spread it around, kind of a spread offense type with a lot of RPOs in it, but you have to run the ball, something they haven't been able to do well, and it's led to them going down early, and stopping the run, obviously huge for Coach Johnson's defense. And number 3, have guys in the right places on both offense and defense. Are you going to have guys on defense, playing out to the boundary and making extra tackles? Are you going to have guys backing up other guys on offense? Is everybody going to run the right route? Is everybody going to create space for the other guy? Is the blocking in sync for the offensive line? Having guys in the right places.
And then finally, David, our uniform report brought to you by Black Tie of Anderson.
Absolutely. For Pendleton, gold helmets, white jerseys, and black pants. For Crescent, black jerseys all around, black jerseys, black pants, black helmets, yellow numbers.
We are incredibly excited for tonight's matchup between Crescent and Pendleton. We've said it many times so far in this Guys Pizza pregame show. Huge game for both of these teams who have kind of struggled at times this season. They've fared well against some weaker competition, and then some of the schools with some bigger guys up front. Both Crescent and Pendleton have really struggled, so we're expecting a really competitive matchup here tonight. As always, you're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Crescent has won the toss and elects to defer. David, what's the key to getting in the end zone on the opening possession for the Pendleton Bulldogs?
They have to run the football well. That's what they like to do. Coach talked about it on the pregame show. They are a team that likes to run the football. They have great speed, a lot of runners in the track team, on the track team, at skill positions and on defense at linebacker and safety and corner. Obviously on offense, you have guys like Darius Latimer, the running back, 76 carries, 432 yards, and 8 touchdowns on the season. So you've got a guy right there, is your belt guy, and you also got a bunch of other guys who can run the football, including your quarterback, Mason Evans, who's got 194 yards on the year.
Both Crescent and Pendleton have now taken the field. We are less than a minute away from kickoff here at Gary and Kathy Adams Field. We'll take a quick break, then it'll be time for kickoff here at Gary and Kathy Adams Field at Crescent High School. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly fun jungle theme, and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. It is game time here at Gary and Kathy Adams Field at Crescent High School between the home Crescent Tigers and the visiting Pendleton Bulldogs. Samuel Goodrow and David Poley will be along with you all night tonight. We're set up in the visitors' press box overlooking the Pendleton sideline. Crescent's number 16, John McCall, getting ready to kick things off for tonight's action. As usual, Jamari Johnson and Sam Jennings back deep to return the opening kick.
We saw a lot of good stuff from Pendleton last week on the kick return. Let's see if we can see something like that again, where you get a guy like Jennings reversing field in the open space.
Here we go. McCall's kick is away. A line drive kick is going to be caught in the air at the 12 by Sam Jennings. Jennings going from the far side of the field to the near side. He's the 25 to the 30, bouncing outside across the 30. He's going to be out of bounds at the 32-yard line, and that is where the Pendleton Bulldogs will set up shop on the opening possession of tonight's game.
Going to be crucial to see where Pendleton starts. Obviously, starting with the ball on offense puts a lot of pressure on your team that didn't have a great offensive performance last week, but has a lot of potential if they're going to play their way and they're going to play in unison.
Young quarterback Jace Gross joined by the single back Brace Spear in the backfield. Two receivers wide to each side. Pendleton will be going from our right to left. And they start 1st and 10 from the left hash. Ball officially marked at the 33-yard line. Coming in motion is Ham Scott, and taking the snap is Gross. Gross looking to throw quickly. He does. He finds Jamari Johnson caught at the 34-yard line. Jamari drags a couple defenders near the 40-yard line. A nice gain on 1st down, a quick hitter.
A quick hitter. We see Jamari Johnson on offense. First time we've really seen him since the I believe it was the Keenan game earlier in the season where he caught 2 receiving touchdowns on only 2 catches, 2 targets. A big-time player in the receiving game. Good to see that he's back in the offense. You're usually a defensive player, great defensive back, but with everything that's happened on the offense, you need a burst, and you get it with a guy like Johnson.
2nd down and 4. The tight end, Ty Miller, in the formation. He goes from right to left, or from left to right in motion. Gross takes a snap, will hand it off up the middle to Brace Spear. Spear tackled by the front 4 of Crescent across the 40 to the 41, bringing up a 3rd and short.
Spear was one of the few bright spots last week for a Bulldogs offense. He never gave up. He was fighting into the 3rd and 4th quarter when his team was down multiple scores, running clock. He just kept fighting. He kept going up the middle. He kept trying to get extra yardage, and he did. He ended up getting in the end zone for Pendleton's only touchdown last week.
3rd down and short for the Pendleton Bulldogs. 2 receivers out wide on the far sideline. Heavy package with both the tight end, Ty Miller, and the H-back, Kendall Turman, in the formation. Brace Spear joining the quarterback, Gross, in the backfield. A big-time 3rd down and 2 coming up for Pendleton. Coming in motion is Mellow Mattress from the far side to the near side. Gross takes a snap, but there's pre-snap movement. That's likely going to back the Bulldogs up 5 yards on a false start.
When you're bringing a skill position player in motion from the right to the left, obviously it's going to get everybody's timing mixed up, especially on the defense, but this time it gets the offense. Oh, it gets the defense here.
It does get the defense indeed, so it's actually going to be a 5-yard penalty on Crescent, and it moves the chain for the first time for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, like I was saying, with that offensive motion, when you're going across horizontally, you're trying to get everybody to mess up their timing, mess up their jump, and that's exactly what they did right there.
Turman, the H-back, still in the game. Gross takes the snap. He'll hand it off up the middle to Spear. Nice job by Spear getting some yards after contact. He'll gain 4 on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Bulldogs at midfield, already a very organized drive to start out. You got to love the early scripted plays from Coach Howell and his offensive staff to give their running backs a lot of time and a lot of space early on.
Bulldogs moving with a little bit of tempo. 2 receivers out to the right of Gross and 1 receiver to the field, or to the boundary. That is Ham Scott. He now motions from that left side to the right. Gross takes a snap. He's dropping back, looking to throw. Pressure in his face. He's forced to scramble. Gross, still on his feet across the 50, does find some positive yardage, but some immediate pressure in the backfield by the Crescent Tigers definitely disrupted that play. It'll be 3rd down and about 4.
Pressure came flying in from number 25 for the Tigers, Isaac Hoskins, the leading tackler for the Tigers defense. He came flying in from his linebacker position, blitzed perfectly through the B gap, and he really got good pressure on Gross. Gross, however, able to evade, step up, break a tackle, and you pick up a decent gain on that 2nd down, avoiding what could have been a sure sack opportunity.
Bulldogs sticking with the heavy set, both the tight end Ty Miller and the H-back Kendall Turman, who started the season at nose guard, in the game for this crucial 3rd down and short.
Tournament, a big, strong sniffer. He's going to go from side to side and just crack block anybody he sees in his way.
Looks like Pendleton's going to take a quick timeout. We'll take it with him and be back with a 3rd down and short. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin Chilli, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin Chilli Ice Cream Truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite bath in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event.
No score, 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Samuel Goodrow, David Poley bringing you Pendleton Bulldog football here tonight in their contest against the Crescent Tigers. A timeout taken before this crucial 3rd down and about 3 yards to go as the Bulldogs have crossed midfield and looking to score on their opening possession. In the pistol formation, Gross has 2 receivers lined up to his right, and Turman, the H-back, as the sniffer, the 2nd tight end who's off the ball on his left side, along with his running back, number 9, in the backfield. That's good old Bray Spear. Could be a situation where Spear just goes straight up the middle, tries to pick up this 1st down. Ham Scott coming in motion from right to left. Crescent showing a little bit of pressure. They bring it. It'll be a shotgun toss out to the left for Bray Spear, and Spear is wrestled down at the line of scrimmage by number 7, Raekwon Donald. It's decision time for the Bulldogs as it's 4th and short.
I think you got to go for it here. You're in no man's land. Your special teams unit, as far as the kicking game, not been great. Jennings has been a pretty good punter, but you want to keep your offense out on the field. You want to make a statement on the opening drive. You've been pretty methodical so far. You've got your game plan. Get your offense out on the field.
Identical formation for the Bulldogs for this 4th down and 3 from the left hash at the 47-yard line of Crescent. Getting the play from head coach Grayson Howell is the quarterback Gross. Gross takes the snap. He'll hand it off up the middle to Bray Spear, and Spear has enough for the 1st down.
Spear went straight up, just absolutely barreling through that handoff. Went straight to the shoulder, got low to the ground, and just dove for it at the end, but he was almost just brought down by his own momentum. A great job by Spear going headfirst into the pile and just coming out on top with the 1st down.
A fresh set of change for the Bulldogs, who are now on the Tigers' 42-yard line.
And it can't be understated what that momentum, picking up that 4th down on your first drive, does for the Bulldogs' offense.
Bulldogs will motion into trips. Sam Jennings coming from left to right. Gross takes a snap, looking to throw quickly. He has Jennings at the 35. Down to the 30-yard line is Jennings before he's tackled by a few black jerseys. Another 1st down on another quick hitter for the Bulldogs.
Just a quick little pitch and catch there. Jennings gets open over the middle, turns back, receives the ball from Gross, and he just takes off after it. Big hit at the end, but Sam Jennings knows how to take big hits better than any other under 5'10" receiver in the country, I feel like. I feel like he's getting hit every single week, and every single week he's popping right back up and showing bursts of speed on the next play.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left for the quarterback Gross in the backfield. With him is Spear. It'll be a handoff to Spear this time, and nothing doing as he is swarmed behind the line of scrimmage. A nice job by the defensive front of the Crescent Tigers there. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
The Tigers' defense just came swarming off the edges. They sent everybody that time. It was Lane Honeycutt, the number 45, the sophomore defensive lineman, who ended up bringing Spear down on that play, but they sent anybody right there. They've got a pretty large defensive tackle on the right side of their defense that's really just clogging everything up. That's number 78, Arnez Richardson.
Empty set for the quarterback. Gross looking to throw quickly. Hit as he throws, and it's a wobbler that's going to come up well short and go out of bounds. The pressure got home yet again. The running back Spear was initially in the backfield, motioned out pre-snap, and that allowed the blitzing linebacker to get home on the pressure.
Looked to be a little bit of a miscommunication on the protection from the offensive line. Linebacker just came straight blazing in there, and Gross just really wasn't able to get anywhere. Almost was throwing that one away to his intended receiver deep and out of bounds where nobody could catch it as he got hit.
So it'll be 3rd down and 12 from the 32-yard line for the Bulldogs. Still no score, 6 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in the first quarter of action. Back in 5 wide are the Bulldogs. Gross takes a snap, looking right, drops the ball. Falls on it at the 42-yard line. That's a big loss on a crucial 3rd down, and you have to think the Bulldogs are going to have to punt now.
It puts you in a really bad position when you're backed up in this territory. You don't really want to punt because you're inside the opposing 45. It's not like you have much room to work with in terms of flipping the field. The best you're going to do is about 30 yards at the high school level. So they are going to have to trot off the punt unit there, but just an awful spot on 3rd down. If you're Gross, you got to hold on to that football.
So the punter, Sam Jennings, on the punt. Tron Paul and Keontae Parks back deep to receive for Crescent. Punts away. It's going to drop at the 13-yard line and take a nice Pendleton bounce. Initially it's about the 10, and it'll be down at the 11-yard line. So a nice punt by Sam Jennings, given the circumstances. It's going to be a 31-yard punt, and that's just about all you can really ask for from this special teams unit.
Absolutely. That's a great punt. That's way better than, the usual 20 yards that you're going to get when you punt on like the 45. Jennings does a great job of just putting the ball in the air. The Tigers go with a two receiver formation on the punt, right? So you have a couple guys that can return that punt, but of course it allows the gunners for the Pendleton Bulldogs to get down there fast. That's what happened. Got a nice bounce, and now the Bulldogs defense is put in a really good spot.
Crescent offense coming out immediately in 5 wide, and Evans is going to fire it out wide on a screen, and he has a receiver that's going to get some positive yardage on 1st down. Looks like that is number 6, Keontae Parks with a quick hitter.
And Coach talked about Keontae Parks in the pregame. He's been a player for a long time for the Tigers. He's able to just take that little, quick screen on the outside as a slot receiver on the trip side of the 5 wide. He's able to take it and just get a couple with it. All you can ask for on 1st down.
2nd down and short for Crescent. Bringing a receiver in motion from left to right. They'll hand it off, and he's got some speed out to the 25 to the 30, 35, dragged down near the 40-yard line. But Coach talked about these track speed athletes for Crescent. It looks like it was once again Keontae Parks making the play there.
Great job by Parks. He comes in motion as the inside guy on the left side of the 5 wide for 3 to the right, 2 to the left. He comes over with a blaze of motion. He's going so fast. They time it perfectly off the snap, and he's able to just use that momentum from the defense shifting over to him and cut right back up the middle and use that track speed to get a huge play on the second play of their opening offensive drive.
So another 1st down for Crescent. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. A big play there. Coming in motion yet again is Keontae Parks. They'll hand it off on a jet sweep look yet again. This time a better job by the Pendleton defense, but still a gain of 7 or 8, and there is a flag on the field.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They just run Parks the opposite side. This time he's on the 3 wide side of the 5 wide, and he's just able to take it from right to left this time. The Pendleton defense, like you said, Sam, does a better job of closing out, but he's still able to get to the edge, and he does a great job of just moving forward. Interesting to see what the penalty is here.
Looks like the officials indicating it is on Crescent. Umpire setting the football back to the 36-yard line, so we'll replay 1st down. It'll be about 1st down and 13, and Crescent's going to stick with that empty formation.
And now Pendleton is going to have to adjust to the motion, and that's where the Tigers are going to look to strike.
Quick snap and a quarterback draw for the sophomore quarterback, Mason Evans. He picks up 5 yards on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 8.
Evans has been running the ball pretty well for a quarterback. He's got 86 carries for 194 yards coming into this game. He's been pretty good. Obviously, the yards per carry definitely not there in terms of, gaudy numbers. But he's able to get the job done. He's handling the ball a lot as a quarterback. He's putting his body on the line, and he's getting things going, moving chains.
Parks in motion right to left. We got a direct snap to Parks, but Trent Garner's going to wrestle him down in the backfield. That's the first big play for this Pendleton defense. A nice tackle for loss on the play, snuffed out by Garner.
And that's where they tried to set Pendleton up, if you're the Tigers. So what they did is they're motioning Parks over from right to left on that jet look. This time there's a kind of a bad snap. Parks just takes it straight out of the air. That's the miscommunication that they were trying to set up earlier. But this time they kind of mess up on the bad snap, and Parks just absolutely swarmed to the ground by Trent Garner, who's all over it, not fooled that time.
3rd down and 16 for Crescent. They've got 4 wide receivers out to the wide side of the field and just 1 to the boundary, likely looking for a screen play here. Taking the snap is Evans. He's going to have to scramble, but he's brought down in the backfield. Another play made by the defense of Pendleton. Crescent did have some numbers over here on Pendleton's sideline, but the defensive front of the Bulldogs gets home for the sack.
Big play there by Fisher Sailors. The sophomore defensive lineman's been pretty much in the starting lineup all season. He's had his moments where he hasn't been really on the field as much as he'd like, but he makes a big play there. Great pressure by the Pendleton defensive line all around, and they're able to force a big punt situation early where they can get that field position back right where they left it.
Mason Evans serving double duty as both the quarterback and the punter. Nash Cahaly is going to call for a fair catch at the 46-yard line, the Pendleton 46, and that is where the next drive will get going for the Bulldogs. We'll take a quick break, and we'll have the Bulldogs' second possession.
Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com.
No score, 2:34 remaining in the first quarter. Second possession for the Bulldogs. Gross is going to take the snap and hand it off to his running back, Brace Spear. He's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Not the play that you want when you're in great opening field position on your second drive. Spear just not able to go anywhere there. The great job by the Tigers' defensive line, absolutely swarming right away and taking advantage of an offense that maybe wasn't in sync to start the drive.
2 receivers to Gross's right, 1 to his left, the tight end Ty Miller in the formation. Gross takes a snap, fakes the handoff, pressure in his face. He's going to throw far sideline, and nobody home, so either a miscommunication there or Gross is just throwing it away with the pressure in his face. Regardless, it's going to be a 3rd down and 10 immediately.
He had some pressure in his face, but it looked like he had enough time to get that ball off. Sam Jennings was streaking right down the right hash and kind of curled into the middle of the field. Maybe he was running a post, maybe a little miscommunication on an option route. Of course, a lot of choice in this Pendleton Bulldogs offense. Definitely a miscommunication there. Got to wonder if Gross wants that one back because he's got a wide-open Jennings. But, of course, he's got the pressure in his face, and he's got to worry about getting rid of that football and making sure that his team doesn't get knocked way behind midfield.
Officials discussing something.
I believe they're going to go over whether or not that was intentional grounding.
Gross was in the pocket. There was no receiver in the area, however, so they honestly could have an argument here for intentional grounding.
They absolutely could. The argument is, hey, was there just a miscommunication with Jennings there as he went in the middle and Gross threw it away?
It looks like that's going to be the call as the umpire has marked the ball or marked the line of scrimmage at the 41-yard line, although it still does say 2nd down on the dial-it-down, so not sure what the penalty was there. Regardless, it's going to back the Bulldogs up, bringing up a 2nd down and 15. Bulldogs back in the empty set, 3 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. Cross takes a snap, looking to throw quickly. He has Jamari Johnson caught at the 39-yard line, but Jamari Johnson is swarmed right there by the Crescent defense. Another screen play for this Pendleton offense, this one not finding much success.
And another pile tackle led by number 25, Isaac Hoskins, for the Tigers. A great job by the Tigers defense, just recognizing that it's a screen to Johnson right away, able to get to the right side of the field and give him nowhere to go, providing contact with every single blocker on the right side, and the receiver's not able to get out in open space and really create a play on that little wide receiver screen.
Still no score here. 1:20 remaining in the first quarter at Gary and Kathy Adams Field. Region contest between the Bulldogs and the Tigers of Crescent. 3rd down and 14. Empty set yet again for the quarterback, Gross. They're going to call delay of game, it looks like. It took a long time to get the play in from the Pendleton sideline, and the play clock did expire just before the snap was taken.
Yeah, it did. Gross, of course, had a little trouble hearing Coach Hal. You could see him make some signals like what, and just that's very unfortunate when something like that happens in the game, when it's just a trouble of relaying signals, not being able to hear your coach, and it backs up the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs now way behind the chains. It's 3rd down and 19. They'll make Jamari Johnson come off the field for a play for his knee pad not being low enough. You see that a lot nowadays in high school football. In his place will be number 13, Dax Allen, into the game. We don't see him on offense too much.
That's one of those late substitutions where, hey, we just need somebody out there.
Empty set. Gross taking the snap. Pressure in his face. He has Sam Jennings across the middle of the field, but Jennings makes the catch and is brought down by number 25, Isaac Hoskins, the linebacker in coverage in pursuit there.
And Jennings is going to have to stay on the field and punt it away for his offense after just an unfortunate set of circumstances. Really backed the Bulldogs up, and they weren't able to get all of it back on the short throw.
So forced to punt yet again will be the receiver and punter, Sam Jennings. Same guys back deep to return for Crescent. That's Tron Paul and Keontae Parks. Punt is away. This one's going to be fair caught by Tron Paul at the 36-yard line of Crescent. The flag's going to come down on the field. We have another unnecessary roughness call. This one's going to go on Jamari Johnson. He kind of gave a body check to number 9, Nigerius Gear Harrison. I even saw that one from here.
Absolutely. Just a little unnecessary contact at the end of the play. Johnson obviously frustrated about being taken out, because his knee pad wasn't in the right place, and just kind of takes it out there on number 9, Nigerius Gear Harrison, at the end of that play on the return, and that's going to put his defense in a pretty bad position. So that can't happen. You got to make sure you're making cool-headed plays in a huge game like this with major playoff implications.
So that'll add 15 yards to the end, or from where the fair catch was made, and another crucial penalty is going to go against the Bulldogs, with Crescent having it across the 50-yard line now.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll move Crescent across midfield on something where they would have been backed up, as they really didn't have a choice but to fair catch that ball. Now they're going to be able to run that offense in pretty decent field position already in Bulldog territory without even earning a thing.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Crescent. This will be a final play of the first quarter of action. Quarterback Mason Evans fakes the handoff. He pulls it on the read option. He's got a nice gain on 1st down.
Love that orbit read option. They have Darius Latimer come from the left wide receiver. He comes in a motion, right, and then he cuts back in on that pistol read option, right, where they're going to play it vertical, right, where the running back's behind the quarterback, and Evans just fakes that handoff and goes completely the other direction. A great play design, very successful for the last play of the half with 6 yards. Love that play call.
That's the end of the first quarter. No score between Crescent and Pendleton. We'll be right back. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio.
Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. The start of second quarter action between the Bulldogs and the Tigers. Samuel Goodrow, David Poley with you here from Crescent High School. Gary and Kathy Adams Field for the fourth region game for the Pendleton Bulldogs. And a 2nd down and 4 for Crescent after a Mason Evans pull on a read option. Evans takes a snap. This time he'll hand it off up the middle to Darius Latimer. Latimer stiff-arming a couple defenders, still on his feet. And he will be across the 36-yard line, moving the chains for a 1st down.
A lot of great runners for this Tigers offense. In the first drive, it was a lot of number 6, Keontae Parks. Here, it's been all Darius Latimer, number 8. So it's going to be interesting. Hey, are they going to rotate drives with the backs? Are they going to let everybody get a breather? Are they going to just go with whatever guy gives them the best chance in open space? Interesting to see when you have all these different options on offense and at the running back position.
1st down and 10 from the right hash. Crescent moving from our right to left. 1st and 10 from the Pendleton 36. Evans takes the snap, but we have a whistle before the snap yet again. Looks like someone on the right side for Crescent moved early.
And penalties on both sides, definitely hurting the momentum and the game speed going on so far between the Bulldogs and the Tigers. Young offenses with some great skill players, but not able to get everything down in motion all the time. And this one will go against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it's actually an offsides on the Bulldogs. So probably already the 4th or 5th penalty against the Bulldogs, just a quarter and some change into this football game. It'll be 1st down and 5 for Crescent from the Pendleton 31. Evans takes a snap, hands it off to Latimer. Latimer running through a couple defenders, but a nice job limiting the damage by the Pendleton defense. It'll be 2nd down.
They ran with a tight pistol set on 1st down. They had number 25, Isaac Hoskins, back in there. Here, he's playing tight end. He moves over a little bit. He's on the right side of the quarterback, but he moves over a little bit as kind of like that H-back sniffer from the left to right before the play gets snapped, and he's able to take a great block on the outside and give his running back, Latimer, some room to work.
2nd down and 1. Same formation for Crescent in the pistol. Ball's on the 27-yard line on the right hash. It's another handoff to Latimer, and Latimer dragging a few Bulldog defenders almost down to the 20-yard line. It's another 1st down for Latimer and the Tigers.
They run pretty much the same play, just the opposite direction. They run a counter concept off of it. Still, Hoskins is the lead blocker, and still Latimer is breaking tackles and running through defenders.
Crescent moving the ball pretty well on this drive, all on the ground so far.
On the first drive, it was all 5-wide jet sweeps. Now, they incorporated a little bit of the 5-wide to start, but it's been pretty heavy pistol action with Latimer.
Evans takes a snap. This time it's going to be a shotgun toss to the right as Latimer bounces it outside. He's forced out of bounds at the 17-yard line, a gain of 4 on 1st down, a 2nd and 6 from the 17-yard line on the right hash.
When you get a zone toss to a guy like Latimer in the open space, you're really lucky if you're holding him to 4 or 5 yards because he has such blazing speed and so much room to work. Nobody was really out there for the Bulldogs, and that's what we talked about on the pregame is defensive players having guys to tackle in open space on both offense and defense. But here on defense, you got to have guys backing up. You got to have guys like the safeties in the secondary making those tackles and swarming the ball on the boundaries.
First time in the red zone for either team. Here comes Keontae Parks in motion yet again. Another jet sweep. And he breaks a couple tackles. He's tackled finally at the 10-yard line of the Bulldogs. That's good enough for another Crescent 1st down.
That play should have been blown dead early because Parks had nowhere to go in the backfield after going left to right, just caught somewhere along the hash line, and he just broke a tackle and was able to do a nice little cut up the middle, cutting back, and was able to pick up that 1st down. A great job by Parks, showing his speed and his agility.
Another meeting by the officials. I didn't see a flag thrown, but the Crescent offense is backing up. Still no score. 10:03 remaining in the second quarter of action. They will indeed mark off about 15 yards from the end of the run.
Wow.
Might have been a personal foul against a player on the offense.
Could have been a personal foul for sure. Could have been a block in the back.
Looks like it's sportsmanlike conduct,
Sportsmanlike, yep. Makes sense because the official probably didn't need to throw it at the end if he's just going to hand it out. Of course, the flag's always going to come in, but that makes sense why everything's forced back with the unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of that play.
It's the first time a penalty has hindered the Crescent Tigers. Seen a lot of penalties on the Bulldogs so far. So they'll have it now at the 25-yard line. And another whistle before the snap, and looks like head coach Sheldon Evans is not too happy on that far sideline.
And neither of these veteran coaches have to be happy with the discipline early on. It's a huge game for both sides, but you can't let emotions factor into it. Both teams 3-4. Pendleton 1-2 in the region. Crescent 1-1 in the region. Huge opportunities to move up in the standings for the playoffs in your region and possibly host a game at home to start the playoffs. You cannot play with emotion. You have to make sure that you're staying disciplined. Whether you're motion offense or you're just a straight-up offense, you got to make sure that your offense is in sync and on lock with playing discipline and not just unsportsmanlike penalties, false start penalties, neutral zone infraction penalties. On both sides of the ball, you got to make sure that your offense is ready to go and analyze.
So the conference between the officials is over. It wasn't unsportsmanlike conduct against Crescent. Pointing to the Bulldogs as well. They're going to keep the ball spotted at the 25-yard line.
A lot of jawing early on between these two teams. A little chippy.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line on the left hash. Coming in motion this time is Latimer, and faking the give is the quarterback Mason Evans. He'll keep it himself, trucks the defender, and gets across the 20-yard line, and Crescent is back in the red zone.
Great job by Mason Evans, just faking that pull, sitting with it like it's a slow mesh, and just absolutely hitting the hole up the middle on a quarterback blast. Love to see it from the sophomore. Great agility from him, and just a great job by him leading with his shoulder. It's rare that you see a quarterback with that toughness and just able to take every single hit and looking for him, and that's what you get with Mason Evans.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 4 yards to go. This time the orbit motion is Paul. They'll give it to Latimer up the middle, though. He's still on his feet across the 10-yard line, and the first real gadget play we've seen from Crescent here tonight.
Yeah, they run that orbit motion, and they're setting up the triple option look. They have the pitch option on the orbit motion, but they just choose to give it and read it straight to Latimer, and he's able to just brace some tackles, go up the middle on what would just be an inside zone for him.
1st and goal for Crescent on the left hash. The ball's on the 7-yard line. 8:55 to go, still no score. Crescent's trying to change that here. Taking the snap is Evans. He's going to have to keep it himself. Looks like a busted play. He's tackled for loss at the 9-yard line. Looks like the snap came a little quicker than he anticipated. Bulldogs catch a break there.
Center seemed like he was ready before anybody else heard a signal that he wasn't supposed to hear and just went it straight to the face of Evans. And Evans just had to take it and run with it. Wasn't able to get much in there.
Little slower pace from this Crescent offense than we've become accustomed to so far here in this game.
Don't want to stall out in the red zone, though. Got to keep your offense humming.
2nd and 9, left hash, faking the handoff and firing out to the left for number 2. That is Tron Paul. We have another flag on the play. Paul gets down to the 6-yard line before being tackled by Jamari Johnson. But a flag came in immediately on the snap, so going to be interesting to see what the call is this time. It's going to be a chop block against Crescent. So a very penalty-riddled first half so far between these two teams. Still scoreless.
Sloppy, Sam. That's what you can call it. It's messy. It's sloppy. It's not the way that either coach wants to play football.
So Crescent backed way up to the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal from that spot.
And that's why chop blocks are so costly, because they're not only so dangerous for the players, but because of that danger, there's a consequence that comes to it that is very hefty.
2 running backs in the backfield. They'll give it to number 6, Keontae Parks. And Parks, using that speed, making some people miss all the way down to the 13-yard line. Tackled there. It'll be 3rd and goal from that spot. Had 2 running backs in the backfield and brought Paul in motion from right to left on that play.
Yeah, a lot of guys in the backfield, a lot of options for the defense. They choose to just give it to Parks, and the defense is able to key in from there, but not before Parks picks up a huge gain. Still a 3rd and goal that's very long and probably a pass situation for the Tigers. Definitely considering going on in this 4th down as well.
3rd down and goal, same formation for Crescent, and another flag before the play.
Evans was trying to roll to his right, could have been a speed option or a toss look, but instead the play blown dead, and Evans can't believe it. Looks like the Tigers' offense moving back once again.
It's going to be on Crescent yet again, as it was a false start. Ball will be spotted at the 18-yard line. It'll be a big third down and goal from that spot.
We haven't really seen the Tigers throw it much besides wide receiver screens. It's going to be easy for Evans to go short, but can he get all the way to the end zone, or at least intermediate?
In motion from right to left comes Latimer. Empty formation for Evans. Evans looking to fire left side. It's intercepted! Intercepted on the near sideline by number 25, Zy Collimore, in the end zone, and a massive takeaway for the Bulldogs on 3rd and long.
Huge takeaway for the Bulldogs. They needed that one. Mason Evans stepped up, maybe a little too many steps, and he just fired to the back left corner of the end zone. That ball was tipped and landed in the hands of number 25, Zy Collimore. Collimore tried to break it away, too. Looked like he might have had some space down the sideline if he wasn't tripped up, but he'll fall down around the 9 and give his defense a much-needed turnover. Bend but don't break. That's what Coach Jeremy Johnson prides his defense on. They do a great job there, and they give their offense an opportunity to look like they did on the first drive and get the ball past midfield.
A big-time play by the sophomore defensive back gives this Pendleton offense the ball at their own 9. Cross takes a snap, fires quickly for Mellow Mattress, but it clanks off his hands, incomplete. And some Crescent players playing after the whistle, just in case it was a fumble, but it was indeed an incomplete pass.
And those short wide receiver screens on the perimeter are so tough to play as a defensive player, because obviously the officials are going to give you a benefit of the doubt if the receiver drops the ball because you think it's a fumble and you're trying to do whatever you can because that ball is behind the line of scrimmage possibly. But you can't get reckless and put a big hit on that receiver once he drops it, because that'll just push your defense back and take away what would be a surefire incompletion and give your defense another down.
2nd and 10 from the 9 for the Bulldogs. They'll hand it off to Spear. Spear into the second level, makes a couple guys miss all the way out to the 24-yard line, and he was dangerously close to breaking that one, Dave.
Spear, a big body, able to take it straight up the middle. He's got wide open space, big hole there, able to shake a couple people with his hips, just absolutely bashing defenders side to side, and just had to be dragged down by his left foot there. Great job by Spear staying physical.
So that moves the chains for this Pendleton offense. Ball's now on the 24-yard line, 1st down and 10. Cross takes a snap, looks left, flushed out right. He'll have to throw it away, as there were 2 black jerseys in the area. Number 5, Kevin Hatton, one of those, the linebacker in pursuit.
Hatton was the main culprit there. He was storming off of his right side and just really forced Gross to throw it away. Caught up to him pretty fast, really fast play by a linebacker, and Gross had nowhere to go because that play was busted from the beginning with the pressure from the Tigers' defense that just completely got like 5 or 6 guys through.
2nd and 10 from the 24-yard line. Trips to the left, 1 receiver to the right. Gross takes a snap. He's pressured immediately, steps up in the pocket. He's going to scramble down the near sideline, gets positive yardage, but another well-timed blitz by this Tigers defense, really disrupting what the Bulldogs are trying to do offensively.
And when Gross is blitzed like that, he doesn't have time to throw, and he's not able to read in the way that he wants to read. He's forced out to his right, and he's playing kind of sidearm, just trying to get the play off. He wasn't really aware of where the down marker there was. He was kind of pump faking and still playing right at the line of scrimmage where he could have been called for an illegal forward pass, just runs it there.
So it'll be 3rd down and 7 from the 27-yard line. Trips left, 1 receiver to the right, and Spear in the backfield. Gross takes a snap, fakes the handoff, throws it out to the left side to Sam Jennings, incomplete, and he takes a blow from the defensive back, number 6, Keontae Parks, who's made a lot of plays on the offensive side of the ball for Crescent. That's going to bring up another 4th down as the offense stalls out for the 3rd straight time.
Keontae Parks just made straight chest-to-chest contact, looking like he's Roman Reigns with a spear out there, just absolutely flattening Sam Jennings chest-to-chest and not even giving him a second to get that ball down.
He's got to shake that one off quickly and get ready to punt the football away. I do not envy you, young man, Sam Jennings. Back deep to return, yet again, Paul and Parks. Jennings takes the snap. Still a nice punt given the circumstances. It's going to bounce at the Crescent 48-yard line. It goes out of bounds at the Crescent 45. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be Crescent football. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410 or stop by and dine in with us. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs, proudly serving the area for over 10 years. Sam Magudo, David Poley back with you here from Crescent High School. Still no score. Crescent has the ball for the third time tonight. Evans is going to fire it out wide for Latimer, and Latimer has a nice game down the far sideline. They've done a really nice job, Dave, of getting their speedsters out in space.
Latimer and Parks have been a 1-2 punch, really not as go-to backs. Of course, Latimer has had some traditional carries out of that pistol formation, but Latimer and Parks have been used as jet sweep guys, going from left to right and using the wide side of the field to their advantage.
12-yard gain on that play for Parks. Evans takes a snap yet again. He's going to fire it out wide on a similar play to Parks. This time the Bulldogs doing a much better job diagnosing the screenplay as Parks is wrestled down at the line of scrimmage.
And that's a great job by the secondary backing each other up. First guy gets there, isn't able to get it, but slows down Parks enough where another guy can come in and a third guy can come in to finish off the play with no gain.
Both of these offenses have had several, not explosive, but moderately good plays.
Chunk plays, promising opportunities, and the defense, I feel like they've just made it stall out every single time, whether it be offensive plays or penalties that don't really get it going, Sam.
Yeah, it's been the penalties and it's been the opposing defense kind of bowing up when their backs are against the wall. Bulldogs looking to do that yet again here. Still says first down and 10. Evans fakes the handoff. He's going to scramble, running through a defender across the 40 to the 38-yard line. I'm not sure why the last play didn't count, but regardless, it's going to be second down and 6.
Evans pumped there and then just ran through a linebacker, kind of looking like a Johnny Manziel where you're, okay, I'm going to look at my first read, I'm going to pump, and if not, I'm going to go straight up the middle, and I'm going to find the first guy I see, and I'm going to hit him as the quarterback. That was a lot of the offense for Kevin Sumlin and Johnny Manziel at A&M with Mike Evans as his number one wide receiver. He's going to look over to Mike Evans. If Mike Evans isn't there, then he's going to be Johnny Football, and he's going to run. But here we don't get Johnny Football, we get Mitchell Evans Football, and he does the exact same thing. What a tough quarterback you're getting as a sophomore. Also a linebacker. He's able to make a pretty good play with his legs on a repeat of the first down.
Quarterback, linebacker, punter. Looks like he's also auditioning for that storied 4x1 team that we talked about with Coach Howell for Crescent that won the state championship. Looks like Mason Evans might want to be an alternate for that squad as well.
Absolutely. He's got the speed to do it. You don't get speed that often in the state of South Carolina at quarterback position. Just an all-around athlete playing quarterback, and that's sometimes when you get some of your toughest players. He's a guy who knows how to run the offense, but also isn't afraid to do anything with his legs and his upper body to get it done.
Third down and 5. Parks and Lattimore in the backfield with Evans. This time it's a give to Lattimore up the middle, and a nice job by Pendleton's defense making the stop. It'll bring up another fourth down, but another flag coming late. I think it's going to be against Pendleton.
And you hear a lot of yelling and chippiness at the end of it. Big pile. A lot of fans not happy with the result, screaming back and forth. Looks like it'll be against Pendleton, move them back on what could have been a big fourth down stop for the Bulldogs defense.
And I think that was yet again Jamari Johnson on the far side of the field.
He's playing very emotionally charged today, Sam. He's got to cool it down if he wants his team to win the football game. You cannot win the game like that. You've got to make sure that you're staying disciplined. You're playing within your team's game plan. You can't be the hothead that costs your team anything. Johnson's so talented and a great locker room guy for his team. You can't let your emotions get in the way of you winning the football game because at the end of the day, it's X's and O's on the stepboard, not feelings.
That's going to be a 15-yard penalty on a play which the Bulldogs had Crescent stopped for a fourth down. It's going to be first and 10 instead now, all the way down at the Pendleton 22. Evans takes a snap, fires quickly, caught by Darius Lattimore in the screen game. But Pendleton doing a nice job as Trent Garner there to clean it up.
They went quads on the left side, the Tigers did, and a great job by number 15, Jaron Bryant, just blowing that one up. He came from his wide corner position on the boundary and just hit the first block because he knew that it was going to Latimer on that quad screen. Latimer stepped back, 3 guys were blocking for him. He was able to blow that up, and then the other guys collapsed on the open space. A great job by Jaron Bryant there that picks up a 2nd down and 11, a TFL for his team.
Approaching 3 minutes to play in the first half of action. Crescent looking to get on the board for the first time. Coming in motion is Lattimore. They'll hand it off to him. He stiff arms a couple tacklers still on his feet, but a nice job of gang tackling by the Pendleton defense, making the stop there.
It's Jaron Bryant in there once again. He's the one finally able to wrestle Latimer to the ground. They run that motion, kind of like, a setup, power on the jet, and he just cuts back inside, right? The plan isn't for him to go all the way out there. That's why Evans switches to a handoff late. He's making sure he's giving it on the hand, not a jet pop pass, not a jet touch pass, nothing like that. He's making sure to give it to him on the handoff, so he's cutting back inside and trying to generate power from his blockers. A great job by Bryant, taking him down, and all the Bulldogs following in the dog pound.
No gain on that play. It brings up a 3rd and 11, under 2.5 minutes to play here in half number 1. 3rd and 11 from the Pendleton 23-yard line. Crescent's going to take a timeout to talk about it. We'll take it with him. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun jungle theme and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. 2:18 to play, first half. 3rd down and 11 from the Pendleton 23 for Crescent. And we've got another flag before the snap. This time, indications that it's on the Crescent offensive line. That'll back them up 5 more yards and bring up a 3rd down and 16, a crucial 3rd down and 16.
Right, they had that 5 wide go. They had that 5 wide going there. Excuse me, a little mic issue. They had that 5 wide going there, and they were going to motion a guy over from the weak side on the left side with only 2 guys in to the quad side on the right. They weren't able to get it done.
Evans taking the snap, looking to throw, and he is sacked in the backfield. That is number 42, Chris Payne, in on the sack there, and we do have a flag on the play. Go figure. It's going to be on Crescent, and that will obviously be declined by the Bulldogs. Another big-time 3rd down stop for Crescent, for Pendleton of Crescent, to bring up 4th down with just about 2 minutes to play here in the first half. And decision time yet again, this time for head coach Sheldon Evans and the Crescent Tigers.
Probably going to have to punt it here, but you have an advantage with your quarterback, Mason Evans, being your punter. So you always have a fake punt opportunity. You're always getting the defense off guard, and you're maybe not getting the full pressure and the full commit on the punt because you got that athlete back there with the cannon.
So 4th down and 22. The punt team is on for Crescent. It looks like Pendleton in kind of a safe man defense. Ball is on the 34-yard line of the Bulldogs.
They've got some guys back there at 4 now. Kind of like, looks like they're playing a cover 4. They got guys back, and they're playing the guys on the outside who are the gunners. They're going to make sure that they're ready for a fake and also have a lot of guys back there to down the punt, if possible.
Head coach Sheldon Evans is going to use a timeout with a play clock winding down. 1:35 to play. We'll take a quick break, and we will have the rest of the first half action. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin Chilli, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin Chilli ice cream truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite baths in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event.
Samuel Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Crescent High School. Still no score with 90 seconds to play in the first half between Crescent and Pendleton. There's been some chunk plays, but there's also been a lot of penalties. Here's a 4th down and 22. Line drive punt from the quarterback and punter, Mason Evans, will go out of bounds just shy of the 10-yard line. And so the Bulldogs will have exactly 90 seconds for this final possession of the first half from their own 14-yard line.
And luckily they're going to be able to do it with decent field position when you regard, where Crescent just had the football. Evans not really able to split that one in half, just kind of knuckles that one over on a line drive that very low to the ground. And the Bulldogs had some success from this area in the field before. Let's see if they can do it again, starting with the run.
1st and 10 on the right hash for the Bulldogs. Groff takes a snap, will hand it off to Spear up the middle. He gains 2 or 3, but not much doing there on 1st down. Clock's still moving.
A very similar play to what they ran in that place just a drive ago. Kind of in that pistol set. They have Spear go up the middle. This time they elect for him not to go left, but they open up a gap for him on the right. That's the hole that they want Spear to attack through. He's not able to get anything there as the linebackers are quick to go down, but don't think that Pendleton won't try to mix it up and get him involved still with about a minute left to play.
1 minute to play. Bulldogs have it 2nd down and 8 from their own 16. Kendall Turman, a late substitution for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs from the right hash with Johnson and Turman in the backfield. That's Spear. Spear on the outside zone across the 15 to about the 18-yard line, Still not much doing, and looks like the Bulldogs might just be content to let this one go all the way down.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Tigers already burning 2 of their timeouts, the Bulldogs really have no urgency to try to stretch the field, late in this game. They're content going into halftime, and Crescent isn't going to press them on it either. They're going to run probably one more run play. They're not going to kneel it out. They'll probably run one more run play, see if they can maybe get something going and capitalize off of a miracle one play. But they're just going to keep it on the ground and go into halftime tied.
3rd and 6 from the 18. It will be a handoff out wide for Spear yet again. He's brought down for a loss. And that will be the final play of the first half of action. We'll take a short break, and then it will be time for the Rogers Petroleum Incorporated halftime show.
Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
It's a little bit premature calling it halftime. Crescent actually calling timeout with 1 second remaining in the first half. They're going to make this Pendleton offense run one more play, Dave.
Yeah, kind of interesting there because you don't really know what you want the offense to do there. You even kind of take one of those shotgun kneels where you just make sure you're getting that second off the clock and getting it down. Do you punt the ball? Absolutely not. You're just going to snap this ball and get down, try to get out of here.
And Jace Gross does exactly that, takes the kneel from the shotgun, and now it is halftime. We'll hear from our final 2 sponsors And then it will be time for the Rogers Petroleum Incorporated halftime show. West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Guys Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410 or stop by and dine in with us. Guys Pizza in Sandy Springs, proudly serving the area for over 10 years. Samuel Goodrow.
Welcome back to the Outsider Coffee Coaches Show here with Coach Hal. Coach, this season...
No score at halftime between the Crescent Tigers and the Pendleton Bulldogs, both sitting with one win in the region. Pendleton 1-2, Crescent 1-1. And Dave, that wasn't your grandfather's 0-0 first half.
No, the Tigers really dominated the time of possession, it felt like. It felt like they were constantly getting runs with guys like number 6, Keontae Parks, and number 8, Darius Latimer, getting good chunk plays and showing the athletes and running backs that they are. But the big thing was the penalties. The penalties were absolute killer for the Tigers. It felt like every single time that they were approaching in the red zone, they got pushed back. And then an unsportsmanlike penalty would come from either the Bulldogs or the Tigers. And it was just getting very chippy, very sloppy. And you end up 0-0 in a game where teams were moving the ball. There had to be over 200 total yards of offense in that first half.
That reminded me a lot of that Week 2 matchup at Newberry College between our Pendleton Bulldogs and the Keenan Raiders. In that game, the story was turnovers. Pretty sure we just had the one turnover, the interception by Zach Collmore here on the near sideline in the end zone. But like you said, the story of the game so far has been penalties. I think it's kind of gone both ways, both for the Tigers and for the Bulldogs.
Absolutely. It's been detrimental for both teams on both sides of the ball on drives multiple occasions. And that just can't happen when you're trying to win a football game. This game means so much to both teams, to both schools, to both cities, to make sure that you're getting the best that you can out of your guys on this output for a game that means everything when it comes to seeding and region for the playoffs.
How do you grade this Pendleton offense from the first half? In my opinion, still an offense that is struggling to find its identity. And this week you don't really have the excuse that you're really outmatched. I'd say Pendleton is just as big, if not bigger, in the trenches than this Crescent football team. So what do you make of this Pendleton offense, and what can they do to fix it in the second half?
Well, Crescent's got some pretty big guys with number 75, Malachi Graydon, and number 78, Arnez Richardson. Some pretty big guys down there. But Pendleton, of course, like you said, Sam, not totally outsized advantage. I think that they definitely haven't found their identity yet, and you can always say that when you don't score a point in the first half of football. I think that they've looked good at times, but if you're going to grade offenses in the first half, you grade the Crescent Tigers offense way better than you do the Pendleton Bulldogs offense because they've been able to move the football more. They've been able to get guys in space. They've been able to have big plays of like 15, 13, 18 yards. Pendleton showed some sparks at times, right? Bray Spears had some pretty good runs, but for the most part, he's been held in check. Jace Gross hasn't really had a lot of time to throw and has been forced to throw it away in multiple occasions. Jennings had a big catch for a first down, but they really haven't gotten anything. It's been pretty slow on both sides of the offensive coin.
Yeah, the Bulldogs have not gotten much going offensively. They've done a nice job defensively, all things considered. David and I certainly don't have all the answers here on the Rogers Petroleum Incorporated halftime show, but it's time to talk to somebody who does. It is time for the second half of our Outsider Coffee Coaches Show.
Welcome back to the Outsider Coffee Coaches Show here with Coach Hal. Coach, this season has been a roller coaster, and there's a lot of playoff implications. You know, the season almost ending in the regular season. We're, quick upon November. How do you really reflect on this season so far, and what do you look for in playoff implications going forward?
Yeah, roller coaster is a good way to put it. Been very uneven. Start off 2-0, lose 2. have an open week, think we're going to have 2 games where we have a chance to win ball games. We don't get to play those. Then we come into region play and we've gone, loss, win, loss. And so it's been a lot. It seems like every game, for the most part, we've had some type of logistical challenge. And tonight's not going to be any different. They're having senior night, and I was told on Monday, hey, you got to be off the field at 6:45. We're not normally off the field until 7:15. So again, we're going to have to adapt. How do we warm up? We're going to get some time on the game field, then we're going to have to move to a softball field. I mean, it just seems like every week there's some type of challenge that we're facing. And so regardless of that, we got to be ready to go. As far as the playoffs are concerned, we win tonight. We could still finish anywhere from 2nd to 4th, depending on the outcome of the Crescent Walhalla game next week. If Crescent wins, if we win tonight, Crescent wins next week against Walhalla, it creates a 3-way tie for 2nd. Point differential then becomes the tiebreaker amongst those teams. Once it's determined who the 2 seed is, it would then go to head-to-head. So Walhalla, for example, right now is a plus 13 in point differential. We're a minus 13 because that's the only game between the 3 of us that's been played. Obviously, Crescent's sitting at a 0 because they haven't played either one of us. And so once the point differential, like I said, creates the 2 seed, then it goes to head-to-head. And so we need to be in a good place against Crescent, if that is in fact the case, to be the head-to-head guy if Walhalla wins the point differential. If Crescent somehow wins the point differential and is the 2, and then it goes to head-to-head between us and Walhalla, we'll be the 4. And so, there's all types of things. The only thing I do know is if we lose tonight, we would be the 4. And so, we want to make sure that we are in a place if we're 2 or 3, we host a playoff game. And that's where we want to be. We want to have a chance to play in Cunningham Stadium again 2 weeks from now. So it's a mess. And the thing is, we won't know until next Friday night after all the games have been played, because Crescent and Walhalla have to make up the lone region game makeup for the 24 season.
Are there any other wrinkles about this year's playoffs? Because obviously, the divisions got shoveled around. Some teams left and joined 3A. Are there anything else that the common fan maybe doesn't know about this year's postseason that you could inform them?
Yeah, because we only have there's only 6 regions in 3A. Usually you have 4 in the upper and 4 in the lower, and so we're split 3 and 3. There's 33 total schools in 3A this year. Only 32 of them play football. And so basically every school that plays football in 3A will make the playoffs. And so because you only have 3 regions, now you have to have, in a 32-team playoff, you got to have 4 1 seeds. And so the number 2 seed from another region would actually be the 1 seed. I think it's from region 2. And so it gets kind of convoluted. That's why even as a 3 seed for us, the way the bracket is set up, we would have a chance to host in the first round, even as a 3 seed. And so it's a little weird. It's even for me, it's hard to keep up at times. I've had to go back and look at the bracket multiple times just to kind of see how everything falls. And then you got a thing like, if we were to finish in a certain place and win a first round game, there's a possibility we play Mountain View Prep in round 2 if they end up winning that. I think they've already clinched their region over in region 3. Well, if that's the case, they don't have a home stadium. And so then all right, so where are we playing that game? Because they have played, I think they've had 3 home games. One has been at PC, one has been at Limestone, one has been at Newberry. And so you have no idea where that game's going to be. And so it's just one of those years where everything is just it's a little bit weird. And there's going to be logistical things. But if we're fortunate enough to play them either in the second or third round, if we can get out of the first round and move on, then we'll for sure take it and we'll figure it out and we'll go play.
Absolutely. Switching gears for a second, just wanted to ask you, do you have any updates on how the athletic department at Pendleton as a whole has been doing? Because we like to highlight the entire, athletic department and school on this show.
Yeah, absolutely. So the fall sports are kind of winding down, obviously, and our volleyball team made the playoffs. Unfortunately, they were knocked out in the first round the other night by MVP. They had to go play them at the Upward Center over in Spartanburg. First-year head coach, young team. We think there's a future there for that group. We're looking forward to seeing how they continue to grow that program. Girls golf made the state championship tournament and went down to Myrtle Beach and played on Monday and Tuesday. And, you know, again, a young program for us, trying to continue to get better. Girls, you know, Coach Payne has done a great job of growing that group. And so, you know, they went down and played on Monday and then weren't satisfied with how that went and were able to improve on Tuesday and finish better than they did, or better than their standing was after round one. Played better than they did, beat their region score, and so there was improvement, and so that's great to see. And then we had our swim teams. We had one girl, Caitlin Cole, qualify for the state championship meet in a couple of events, so pretty proud of Caitlin. And then cross country still going on. They have their region meet this coming week at Walhalla on Thursday. So our boys and girls are going to compete for a region championship there. And then the following week, they'll have the state qualifier down at Fort Jackson. And then if the boys and girls, if they qualify for state, will run the next week at Newberry. And so they're wrapping up. They're in their most important time of the year, just like we are in football. And then winter sports are cranking up this coming week. You know, and it's weird that it seems like 2 years in a row we've had winter, or our fall break has coincided with the beginning of winter sports. So that makes it a little bit weird. So basketball, all of our basketball teams will crank up next week, and then wrestling will as well. And so things are humming right along. It's never dull. And that's one of the things I love about this job is you come in every day and you never know what's going to pop and what you're going to have to deal with, and sometimes that's good and sometimes it's bad, but it makes it fun nonetheless.
Busy time for Athletic Director Howell. Finally transitioning into our last segment of the program. It's going to be our program spotlight, and this week we're going to talk about the many different organizations that have provided you guys with team meals. As obviously that's a real component to just taking care of these boys, is providing team meals, and it seems like that's just something that would be invaluable contributions by these organizations. So we'll just let you talk about A, who some of these organizations are that have been providing team meals, and B, just how much of a help it is to you as the head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll start with B first. I mean, you couldn't do it without it. You know, you're here after school. We don't let our guys go home. And so, you know, you don't play until, I'll take the varsity first. You play at 7:30. They're eating lunch sometimes as early as noon. Some guys are not eating, depending on what lunch they have, until about 1:30. So, and then you want to make sure they got the right fuel in their bodies to go play on Friday night or Thursday night, and so it's very important to make sure that those guys are ready from a nutritional standpoint, and even our JV guys on Thursdays, you know, we make sure that they have some type of pregame meal. I'm very fortunate to have a partnership between our booster club and Chick-fil-A of Anderson and those folks over there that has worked out well. And you know, so we talked about our Bulldog backers a few weeks back, and that group of moms just tirelessly working. And so on Thursdays, like last night, our JV team had their game against Crescent, which they won 21-2. And, you know, we have a group of moms and that come up on Thursday afternoons and make sure that food's laid out and serve those guys and make sure they have stuff to drink. And then they're making sure that if it's an away game, there's basically a food packet for them to have after the game's over and something to drink after they've exerted themselves. And so, you know, our JV guys are treated that way. And then on Fridays, we have a pregame meal in our cafeteria. And so for away games, we've had different groups that have prepared meals for us. Our Bulldog backers handle scheduling, all that kind of stuff. That is something that, as the head football coach, I don't have to worry about, which is great. I'm not running down people to provide food and all that kind of stuff. Those ladies have done a wonderful job of lining all that up. And so for away games, we've had Wilhelmina's, which is right down the road here on 187, that's come in and done a meal for us. We've gone and picked up food from Roughage, which is down the road from us on Highway 76, gone into Clemson, Tropical Grill, and then locally in Pendleton, we've had Dyer's restaurant handle a pregame meal for us, which is owned by Jeffrey Simpson, who played here, and his wife April, and so those people have, every time and then today, I want to skip that one. Today we have East Clemson Christian Fellowship Church is coming to provide a meal, and our kids always look forward to that meal. Chucky, who is the pastor over there, cooks a mean baked ziti, and so our kids love that meal. And so they're going to be here. And then Longhorn Steakhouse, which is the title sponsor of our broadcast, Jotham Hunt and his folks, they donate every home varsity meal for us. And so last week we had chicken breast and mashed potatoes and green beans, and they come here on site and cook it through his catering group. And he's been phenomenal to this program. As most people know, I can never say enough about him and what he's done for us. And then on home games, we also use Jimmy John's of Clemson. We pay them to bring over meals for our press box crew, our admin team, and then our referees. We make sure our referees are fed well when they show up, and we try to do things, you kind of piggyback off the stuff that's going on at Clemson. We want to do the common things, the little things in an uncommon manner, so that people know that the way we run this program is top notch. And it takes a lot of people pulling in the same direction to pull off stuff like that. And we're very fortunate to have that going on over here.
Definitely takes a lot, and providing food is one of the top priorities and top components of doing things the right way, as you mentioned. Well, that's going to do it for this week's Outsider Coffee Coaches Show. Stay tuned for second half action between the Pendleton Bulldogs and the Crescent Tigers.
Once a year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun jungle theme and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin Chilli, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin Chilli ice cream truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite bath in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410 or stop by and dine in with us. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs, proudly serving the area for over 10 years. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They are proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they were recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They are headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, making them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. Samuel Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Crescent High School. 24 minutes have come and gone. We are still scoreless.
No score.
No score at all. We're about 2.5 minutes away from the kickoff of second half action. Crescent won the toss and deferred to the second half before this contest, so that means they get the ball to start the second half.
They'll be able to start with the ball, and they'll be able to try to avenge a lot of the penalties that lost them so much yardage in the first half, and where they moved the ball actually pretty well in the run game with guys like Darius Latimer and Keontae Parks. Even the quarterback, Mason Evans, was pretty good other than the interception he threw, but he's been getting some big carries and moving the ball for his team. So they're going to try to move the ball more efficiently this time and more disciplined, not bringing themselves back with yellow flags.
So we are just about ready to get underway in the second half. Hopefully a much cleaner second half in terms of less penalties, and hopefully for the Bulldogs, some more points.
Absolutely. For the Bulldogs, they really weren't able to get anything going in the first half. They had a couple chunk plays with Bray Spear and even one with Sam Jennings, but the big thing that I noticed, Sam, was Jace Gross really didn't have any time to throw the football. The offensive line has to do a better job of protecting their quarterback and making sure that the extra blitzers from the Tigers do not get there as quick as they were in the first half.
Defensively, if you're Pendleton, how do you adjust to the kind of gadgetry of this Crescent offense that they're using the orbit motion, they're motioning guys in on jet sweeps, they're using a lot of misdirection, counteraction. How do you respond to that if you're defensive coordinator Jeremy Johnson?
I think you got to tell your defensive line to stay put, and you got to tell everybody else, hey, go where the wind takes you to the edges, right? Make sure you're getting out to the edges, because that is obviously where the Tigers want to go. They want to go wide. They want to make sure they're going horizontally and then cutting upfield. So you get horizontally too, and you also have your defensive line stay put so they can't cut back.
And finally, Matthew Chapman given the ball. He'll put it on the tee at the 40-yard line. Pendleton kicking off from left to right. Back deep to return for Crescent. Darius Latimer and Keontae Parks. Here we go. Second half of action officially kicked off. Matthew Chapman's kick deep into the end zone for a touchback.
And you can see Chapman raise the fist. You know, he's like, all right, let's go. Got one in the end zone. Gives my team a great opportunity to get a stop on defense. Pushes the Tigers back. The Tigers have a long way to work with that orbit motion stuff, with that jet sweep stuff, and with that pistol action, carries to really get 75 yards.
I'll actually have to go 80 because in high school, a touchback only gets you out to the 20.
Absolutely.
So really nice job by Matthew Chapman. Not necessarily pinning the Crescent offense deep, but this is some of their worst field position all night.
And that's why in high school football, when you're a kicking coach, you're talking to your kicker. He's like, hey, touchbacks, 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 touchbacks. Touchbacks are money. They even are in the NFL and the college football now, but especially in high school football when you can really rely on offenses to go as far as they do. 1st and 10, it's
an option look for the Tigers. Mason Evans is going to keep it himself, and he is leveled at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the Pendleton defense. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the same spot on the 20. Ball on the right hash for this Crescent offense, moving right to left. Coming in motion is Parks. He will get the ball. He's up the middle, down at the 25-yard line, and already our first penalty of the second half. Looks like it's going to be a holding on big number 75 of Crescent.
Yeah, that's Malachi Graydon, the junior offensive lineman. He's been on both offense and defense tonight. Really seen his offense at that guard position. They've even pulled him a couple times. He'll pick up that penalty and most likely move his team back.
So a nice break for the Bulldogs. A lot of penalties against the Bulldogs in the first half. This time against the Tigers to the Bulldogs' benefit. Negates the positive play for the Tigers, and they'll bring up a second down and 20. So well behind the chains here to start second half action. Still scoreless here at Crescent High School.
If the Tigers stall out again, they'll give Pendleton a big-time opportunity with field position to finally get on the board.
Coming in motion from right to left, and they'll give it to the running back this time. It is Darius Latimer, and another really nice job by the defensive front of the Bulldogs. He's wrestled down right around the line of scrimmage. Gain of maybe a yard there.
I think both defensive lines have been pretty good tonight. Pendleton defensive line winning more of late. Obviously, they have that 3-3-5 stack where they're bringing linebackers up. They're making sure they're getting guys like Trent Garner, with speed, with momentum to the line of scrimmage. They've been winning late. They've been doing a pretty good job of, holding the Tiger offense in check.
Evans takes the snap. It'll be a quarterback draw. He bounces it outside, but a nice job by the Pendleton defense yet again, bringing up fourth down. Dax Allen bringing the quarterback Evans down.
And that's a veteran right there, Dax Allen, the junior. He's able to make that play there. And like I said, Sam, Pendleton's going to have really good opening field position to start the second half if they're able to, keep everything like it's supposed to be on this punt play.
Nash Cahaly, the senior receiver, back deep to return the punt. He's standing on the Crescent 40-yard line. Mason Evans' punt is away. Low line drive kick's going to bounce at the 36 and take a Crescent bounce to the Crescent 47-yard line. So still advantageous field position for this Bulldogs offense for their opening possession of the second half. Hearing some background noise from the coaches' box. The Bulldogs coaches are fired up.
Absolutely, have to be fired up. If you can get 30 yards, you have an opportunity with a field goal with the leg of Matthew Chapman. You can get on the board. You only have to get 30 yards. Obviously, you want to get all of the 46, but you have an opportunity.
First down and 10 for the Bulldogs from the Crescent 47-yard line. Brace Spear up the middle on first down. He has no running room. Gain of 1 on the play. Crescent's defensive front responding to what Pendleton's defensive front did on Crescent's opening possession of the second half.
I don't know if it's just me, Sam, but I feel like the defensive lines have gotten better on both sides of the ball as this game's gone on for both the Crescent Tigers and the Pendleton Bulldogs. They've just been getting more pressure, more conditioned.
Second down and 9 from the 46 this time for Pendleton. Ty Miller in the formation to the right. Taking the snap is Gross. He fakes the handoff. He'll fire quickly to Ham Scott. Caught at the 40-yard line as he falls down to the 39.
And the defense completely bid on that play fake. Gross just fires the slant to Scott. Scott picks up a big gain there and almost gets the first down for his team. It's going to be a little short, but a great job by Scott on that slant route. Stayed very, very low to the line of scrimmage, very quick, did not, take too many steps before firing, and did a great job of hauling it in.
3rd and 2, Crescent showing pressure. Gross is going to take the handoff and hand it to his bell cow running back, Brace Spear. It looks like initially Spear is a little short of the line to gain, and he is, according to the spot. No-brainer 4-down territory here for Howell and the Bulldogs.
No-brainer, but what a job by the Tigers defensive line there. 3 Pendleton offensive linemen were on their backs there. That cannot happen if you're an offensive line, but a great job by the defensive line getting pressure. It's a 4th down and 1. They're going to have to stay out here, and the offensive line is going to have to get a better push.
4th and 1. Doubles right. Ham Scott out by himself to his left, and a hard count gets the Crescent defender to jump. The outside linebacker, Raekwon Donald, showing blitz, and Gross able to get him to jump on the hard count.
Donald, very fast, plays wide receiver on offense. The senior is just really eager to get off the ball there. He's really trying to time it. He's trying to time his jump off the edge, and he just gets there too early, encroaches, jumps, and allows the Pendleton Bulldogs to move the chains. A great job by Jace Gross and the offensive line, staying on the same page and forcing the Tigers to make the mistake.
Twin backs in the formation now for the Bulldogs, 1st and 10. Cross fires out quickly to the left to Cahaly, and Cahaly is tackled for a loss. The Bulldogs heavily reliant on the screen game here tonight so far, and Cahaly tackled for loss there on 1st down.
And that ball for the screen plays a little bit out of place, not Gross's fault, but it just seemed like everything was a little out of sorts there. He didn't really have the blocking. He didn't really have the space. He's kind of too far back. Just not what you want there. Tried to get a little more on the edge, but couldn't get it done there. Good completion, though, keeps the clock running and keeps the momentum and the ball in the hands of Pendleton.
Loss of 4 on the previous play. It's 2nd down and 14 now from the 38-yard line of Crescent for the Bulldogs. Cross takes a snap, immediately rolls out to his right. He's looking for somewhere to go with the football, and he has a receiver. That's Ham Scott back to the original line of scrimmage, but there is a flag on the play in the backfield in the area of an offensive holding.
Been an offense moving back here. That flag landed at the Tiger 44.
While we discuss this, Dave, we've seen a lot of chunk plays, not a lot, but a fair amount of chunk plays from Bray Spear. We haven't really seen any chunk plays through the air like we have in previous weeks.
Well, the only two that you've really seen have been pitch and catches, right? You have that slant to Ham Scott just a couple plays ago, but that's about 7 yards. And you have that 1st down catch from Sam Jennings earlier, but that's where he runs a 5-yard route, if that, and then takes it for a 13-yard gain.
So it's indeed a holding on the offense for Pendleton. Now they are well behind the sticks. 2nd down and 24. They're pretty much right back where they started on this drive. On a frustrating night for this Bulldogs offense, frustrating night for both offenses in general. Ty Miller, late substitution with 10 on the play clock. Gross begging for the play. Communicates to his offensive line. 4 on the play clock. 3. Gross takes a snap. He'll hand it off to Bray Spear. Reverse to Cahaly. Back to Gross. It's a flea flicker. Gross looking to throw down the seam. And it is intercepted. Ball put up for grabs and intercepted by Tron Paul, the two-way player, receiver, and free safety. 50-50 ball, and Paul comes down with it over Nash Cahaly down the seam.
Sam, it's that triple reverse pass. The Bulldogs forced to get tricky with it after they're forced back with the penalty. Gross really had no time to throw there. He just stepped up and heaved it, but he was off the mark. He was off his back foot, and Tron Paul just went up and got it. The safety, who also plays wide receiver, great hands, great vertical leap, able to just snatch that out of the air from Jace Gross and give his defense the first turnover of the game and give his offense the ball back. What a play. A triple reverse pass in high school football. Usually you got a guy wide open or an interception happens.
So I thought it was Cahaly he caught it over, but it's actually Sam Jennings. So Jennings taking another beating, and now Crescent responding with a chunk play of its own as Tron Paul outside down the far sideline all the way out to the 49-yard line, a 31-yard gain, and the momentum is all on the far sideline for the Crescent Tigers right now.
How about Tron Paul keeping his momentum going on both sides of the ball? Gets the pick. What are you going to do next? 31-yard play. Great job by Tron Paul, the two-way athlete. Of course, only 37 players on this Crescent Tigers football team. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of talented guys playing both sides of the ball. That time it's Tron Paul, and he's just taking one play into the next. No matter what side of the ball he's on, he's a playmaker.
Ball marked at the Crescent 47. 1st down and 10. Looking to throw is Evans. Evans going to scramble. He's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. A sack by Trent Garner on 1st down.
Garner does a great job of keeping the edge, holding the edge on the right side. When Evans steps up, Garner's right there with him, dives at his legs, and is able to just use his strength to take him down from there.
So a loss of 1 for the Tigers on the play. 2nd down and 11 from their own 46-yard line. Still scoreless. 5:55 remaining in the third quarter of action. This time it'll be an outside handoff to number 6, Keontae Parks, looking to get outside, but a nice job by the Pendleton defense, limiting him to a gain of 4 or 5 on the play. Still going to be 3rd down and medium for this Crescent offense.
And following it right back up off of his sack is a tackle from Trent Garner. This guy, the motor of the Pendleton Bulldog defense, never lets up. 6'2", almost 200 pounds, just absolutely firing on all cylinders is Trent Garner.
So officially 3rd down and 6 from the Pendleton 49-yard line. Evans takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to Tron Paul. Tron Paul only going to gain 1 as he got a reversed field. But Pendleton again doing a nice job limiting this Crescent run game after the big chunk play to start the drive.
They're in that pistol formation once again like they were on second down, and they run the same play just the other direction. They like to do that a lot. We've seen them do it with jet sweeps. We've seen them do it with, run plays out of the pistol to Darius Latimer. There they do it with, I guess, a fullback sweep out of the pistol. First they ran it from left to right, from right to left. Now they run it left to right, and Tron Paul not able to go anywhere.
4th and 5 from the Pendleton 48. Crescent lining up the punt. It's a fake pass. Firing down the right sideline. Got a man, but it's incomplete. Comes up a little short of the intended receiver, Amari Acker, down the far sideline. The punter / quarterback, Mason Evans, putting his all behind the throw, but it comes up a bit short of Acker. Pendleton will take over on down right there at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, Pendleton almost blocked that if it were an actual punt, but Evans just stood up straight up and fired it. His best ball of the day, without a doubt, was able to get that in the range. Unfortunately, a little bit short, hit the ground before it can hit his receiver. And Pendleton able to pick up a huge turnover on downs.
So 4:27 remaining in the third quarter of action. Still scoreless here at at Crescent High School, but Pendleton snatching back some of that momentum. Gross takes a snap on first down. He's pressured immediately, and he's going to be sacked. Wow. Number 25, Isaac Hoskins, the first to Gross there.
Hoskins was in there with Landon Snellgrove, number 57. They brought him down, but a flag came in there late. I think it might be on Hoskins. He had a pretty gaudy celebration there at the end.
And that it is indeed going to be on Crescent and Hoskins. A good break for the Bulldogs, who had a couple unsportsmanlike penalties of their own in the first half on Jamari Johnson. This time it's Hoskins and the Tigers. Bulldogs will definitely take that. They're into Crescent territory at the 39. First down.
No better feeling when you turn a sack into a 15-yard gain.
Seen a lot of conferencing from the officials here tonight. The line judge getting back to his position on the far sideline. 4:15 remaining in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 39 of Crescent. Bray Spear takes the handoff, powers forward for a gain of a couple, but really not much doing, as has been the case pretty much all night for this Pendleton rushing offense.
Great job by Walker Dunlap, offensive lineman for the Bulldogs, pushing the pile at the end, helping Spear get a couple extra yards. Spear really had nowhere to go there as the outside was completely covered, had to cut up inside, and got what he could get.
2nd down and 7, ball on the 36-yard line of Crescent for Pendleton. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Spear in the backfield. He'll take the snap. He's got some room into the second level, running through the free safety. Ball pops out for a moment, but Spear right back on it across the 25 to the 24-yard line. Bulldogs are knocking on the door of the red zone. 1st and 10.
Great job by Spear. He finally finds a space. He's just waiting for it. He's taking these hits, taking these 2, 3, 4-yard gains, gets that big play there, able to get to the second level, met by offensive stars Keontae Parks and Darius Latimer. He's able to run over a man and pick up a big gain.
1st and 10 on the right hash from the 24. Bray Spear again, but he is met right at the line of scrimmage by big number 78, Armez Richardson, the nose guard. Biggest player on the field by far, clogging up the middle for the Crescent Tigers. That is a beast of a man.
Richardson just able to use his frame and his weight where nobody can move him out of the way. He's just clogging up the middle of those running lanes, doing his job.
2nd down and 10 from the same spot for the Bulldogs. 2:45 remaining in the third quarter. Doubles formation this time. Spear joining Gross in the backfield. Gross takes a snap. He's going to fake the screen. Has a little bit of time, and he's going to throw it away as he was pressured by number 17, Bryson Dutton, the linebacker. Pumped left, looking for Sam Jennings right down the sideline, but forced to throw it away. 3rd down.
A little bubble screen fake on the left side and a go action on the right. Not able to fool the defense with that one, as Gross just had to throw it away, and he takes a big hit at the end. Gross taking a lot of punishment this season, driven to the ground after throwing it away.
3rd and 10. Feels like the Bulldogs need to get a few more yards to get in Matthew Chapman's field goal range. Ball's currently on the 24-yard line of Crescent. Same formation, doubles for the Bulldogs. Gross is looking to throw, looks right, throws right. Back corner of the end zone, and off the hands of Sam Jennings. A perfectly placed ball by the front pylon by Jace Gross, but unfortunately Jennings not able to bring it in.
A difficult catch to be made there in that situation. Gross steps back and fires a pretty good ball. Offensive line does a good job of protecting, but not able to pick up that one.
So it's 4-down territory for the Bulldogs. They're going to go for this. 4th and 10 from the 24. Into the game is the, whatever you want to call it, specialist Jamari Johnson.
Get a big play specialist.
Get a big play specialist. I like that. Play clock down to 2. Gross has got to get the snap off, and he does. Gross pressured immediately. Steps up in the pocket. Firing for the end zone. Jump ball! And it falls incomplete. Nice coverage yet again by Raekwon Donald that time. Looking for Nash Cahaly in the back corner of the end zone, and it falls incomplete. So another turnover on downs for the Bulldogs.
A little trouble getting that play going at the end of the play clock. And once again, a drive comes away with 0 points tonight that looked promising. Very difficult for the Bulldogs and the Tigers. Gross put a pretty good ball on it. He was pressured pretty heavily. They liked Johnson there on a little bit of a zig route. So he came in as the slot receiver on the left side. He was going inside, outside. That's where Gross looks first, but he didn't have the time there. He just stepped on the pocket and just fired it completely to the end zone. And just great defense there by Raekwon Donald. Donald's so fast. He's kind of like a mismatch on defense, right? You think you have a linebacker on a wide receiver. Nope, you got a wide receiver on a wide receiver.
So Coach Grayson Howell getting an explanation from the White Hat. Crescent takes over on downs from its own 24-yard line. Still scoreless here with 2:15 remaining in the third quarter of action. Both of these teams have been able to move the ball down the field, but then just have not been able to finish drives. Empty formation for Crescent. They'll fire a screen pass quickly out to number 3, Amiri Acker. He's got about 2 or 3 yards on the play. Pendleton doing a nice job limiting explosives in the passing game. It'll bring up 2nd down.
That's the first time we really called Amiri Acker's number. He's the lead receiver for the Tigers on the season with 13 catches for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gets involved there on the edge, but not able to get much.
2nd down and 8. 2:06 to play here in the third quarter. This time it's a straight give to the running back. That is Darius Lattimore into the second level. Stiff-armed a couple guys en route to a nice 7-yard gain. Still brings up 3rd down.
Great job by Cody Williams, number 21, the senior in the North-South All-Star Game participant, picking up a big tackle there to keep the Tigers from moving the chains.
3rd down and 1. Ball's on the 33-yard line. Empty set yet again for Crescent. Evans takes a snap. Looking to throw. Still on his feet. He's going to throw deep across the middle and well out of the reach of Keontae Parks down the middle of the field. 4th and 1.
He didn't really have anybody there, so I guess he just wanted to get rid of that ball, fire it as deep as he could. Nobody really in the area, but of course he had 2 receivers in the area. So marked down incomplete. It'll be 4th down, but with such short, ways to go before you pick up the chains.
Would love to see the Bulldogs load up the box
right
here.
And it looks like they're going to go for it. There are the Tigers.
4th and 1. Empty set yet again. Coming under center is the quarterback. Looks like the hard count. He's going to try to keep it himself. He is brought down to the backfield by Trent Garner. A flag flies in. Who's that going to be on? If it stands,
second flag flies in.
If it stands, it's going to be a turnover on down, this time favoring Pendleton. But 2 flags thrown. It could be offsetting personal fouls.
It could be. Could also be somebody went early. Because you never know in those type of plays, short yardage, quarterback sneak. So hard to call a false start there, but if it was apparent on the left side, an official could have made that ruling.
I really think it's going to be some unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to get both an offensive player and Trent Garner on it. That is what the referees are discussing right now. We're hearing from the coach's box, that's what they think as well. So going to be interesting to see a potentially game-altering call.
Looking back at the play itself, though, the Tigers running low on the play clock. Mason Evans comes in there, tries to fake the quarterback sneak, then he goes back out, and then he quick comes in and he actually takes it. But Garner's not fooled as Evans tries to go to the left side, and he's able to rip him down with his brute strength, just turning him over, wheelbarrowing him to the ground. It's going to be really interesting to see what this ruling is. A lot of action happened after the ball was ruled dead, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, if they're enforcing this correctly, it should be dead ball offsetting unsportsmanlike conducts, which are after the play. So the result of the play should stand. It should be Bulldog football, and that is why Grayson Howell is so mad right now, and we're still getting discussions from the referees.
Yeah, but a lot of flags today. This one should be pretty simple, but, of course, a rivalry game. Coach Howell talked about it. It's going to get chippy. The all-time series, Pendleton leads 33-21. This is the 55th meeting between these two teams. They were in the same region for the longest time, then they weren't for a little bit. Now they're back in the same region. They played every single year from 1980 to 2019, except for the 2014-15 season. Of course, last year Pendleton got the big win, 41-14, but now they're trapped in the dogfight.
So we're going to do it again, 4th down and 1. Coach Howell getting the explanation from the white hat official. Crescent putting the punt team on this time, but they did fake the last punt. So the coaching staff for Pendleton making sure their special teams and their defense is wary of a fake.
Absolutely, making sure they have guys all the way up. Interesting that was offsetting penalties ruled during the play, which means a redo of 4th down. And, of course, Pendleton's got their defense all the way up there. They don't even have a return man out there, Sam. They have a guy who can go back and get it, but they have nobody deep. They have nobody past behind the 50-yard line.
The Bulldogs definitely in a formation that is expecting a fake punt here. And obviously, the quarterback, Mason Evans, also serves as the punter. Evans is going to boot it away. It's going to land at the 39 of Pendleton and roll all the way down to the 24-yard line. So regardless, a nice stop by the Pendleton defense. You would have liked to get the ball on a turnover on downs at the Crescent 24, but instead they'll be getting the ball at their own 24-yard line.
Would have been a huge opportunity for Matthew Chapman to kick a field goal to, score the first points of this contest, but instead Pendleton's defense still forces a really nice stop, and the offense has a lot of room to work if they want to capitalize on it.
1 minute, 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Still tied at 0 here at Crescent High School in a region matchup between the Bulldogs and the Tigers. Gross takes a snap on 1st and 10, hands it off to Spear, and Spear is tackled in the backfield. No gain or a loss of 1. Looks like a loss of 1 on the play. This Bulldogs offense has just not been able to string a drive together.
Yeah, not when the defense is operating in lockstep for the Tigers like that. 3 tacklers in there, led by Kevin Haddon, bringing Spear down to the ground.
We're under a minute to play here in the third quarter. 40 seconds to play. Play clock at 15. 2nd down and 12 from the 22 now. There'll be a give up the middle to Spear yet again, and yet again a tackle for loss, and that's going to be the final play of the third quarter.
That's a tough way to start the fourth, is when you're going to be backed up after 2 runs that go for a loss. So it's going to be a 3rd down and very long when we start the fourth quarter, as 15 seconds just run away.
10 seconds still on the game clock. Pendleton looking content to let it expire and send us to the fourth quarter, and that is exactly what they will do. Scoreless after 3 quarters. We've got 12 minutes left of football on the other side. This is Pendleton Bulldogs football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse of Clemson and Seneca, right here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They are proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they are recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They are headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, making them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun jungle theme and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Fourth quarter of action getting underway here at Crescent High School. Big 3rd down and 13 for the Bulldogs deep in their own territory. And we have a flag before the snap because, of course, we do. Looks like movement up front for the Bulldogs. That's going to set them back an additional 5 yards, which goes from 3rd and long to 3rd and very long.
It's going to be really difficult to start the fourth quarter like this if you don't pick it up.
Trips right for the Bulldogs, one receiver to the left. Gross looking to throw, fires on a drag route to Sam Jennings. Jennings across the 30. He's going to be forced out of bounds just short of the line to gain, about 2 yards short of the line to gain, but a nice drag route by Sam Jennings and a nice pitch and catch from Gross to Jennings.
On those big 3rd downs where you have so many yards to gain, if you want to move the chains, you can kind of go underneath and try to get all of that. We saw that exact same play earlier when they're backed up in their own territory. Now you got to punt it away, unfortunately, because Jennings was just 2 or 3 yards short of the chain.
Bulldogs do send the punt team out. 4th down and 3 from their own 31. Jennings gets the punt away from the 20. It's going to bounce at the 50 and be fielded at the 44 by Crescent. A nice open field tackle made there by Trent Garner on special teams. So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Crescent. Still scoreless here from the left hash on their own 48-yard line.
And we're still tied at 0-0, even though it doesn't feel like it. Both offenses have been moved the ball at times. There a couple of bad run plays to end the 3rd quarter, force Pendleton to have a 3rd and very, very long, where they're not able to get all of it on a drag route to Jennings. And now the Tigers have a big opportunity and a must-score next couple of drives if they want to win this football game.
Just underway in the 4th quarter of action, still scoreless between Crescent and Pendleton. 1st down and 10 for Crescent from their own 48-yard line. Coming in motion is Latimer, the running back. They'll give it to him in an outside zone. And a nice job by the Pendleton defense swarming to the football. Took them a while to get Latimer off his feet, but finally brought him down. And they're not even going to give him forward progress there. They're going to say,
no, absolutely not,
of his own accord at the 40, so a big loss on 1st down.
Well, Sam, he kept breaking so many tackles. He kept trying to fight, and stay on his feet. He's able to break so many tackles where the point he's 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and Cody Williams finally able to bring him down.
So a big TFL for the Pendleton defense brings up 2nd and 18 from the 40.
They'll completely flip the formation here, even flipping the tackle. They've got some guys low.
The 4-man friend for Pendleton taking the snap is Evans. Evans dancing around in the pocket. Evans is going to fire down the right sideline. Got a man wide open, but completely overshoots his man down the right sideline. Really down the numbers. Intended receiver there was number 3, Amiri Acker, the leading receiver. Now all of a sudden a 3rd and very long for Crescent. More of the same.
Tried to get a lot back there, just firing Acker on a little bit of a trick play as they motion the right tackle over the left tackle. They had 4 down linemen there, and they had a down receiver as well. So a little bit of a tricky formation there in terms of down linemen on the offense, and then they tried to fire to Acker over the top. Not able to get it there. Now a 3rd and 18, I believe so.
Empty set. 3 receivers left, 2 receivers right for the quarterback, Mason Evans. Evans takes a snap. He'll fire the screen quickly to Latimer. Latimer looking to work that right sideline, but he's shoved out of bounds by Zy Collimore and Dax Allen, short of the original sticks. And it's going to be 4th down and 11. Now it's Crescent's turn to punt the football back.
Another punt, but a force by a great job by weak side linebacker Dax Allen. Allen able to get over as soon as he sees Latimer catch that ball and able to use his core and his, arms to completely force Latimer out of bounds, kind of with a suplex type of motion.
10 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. A high punt. It's going to be fair caught by Nash Cahaly at the Pendleton 26-yard line. Pendleton will set up shop right there from the left hash. They're actually going to mark it at the 27. Neither of these offenses able to get on the board, and we are 38 minutes into game action, Dave.
A lot of hiccups on both sides of the ball, but a lot of things that both sides have done really well. I think that the Tigers have ran the football really well. The Bulldogs have been very tough. The Bulldogs have played great special teams. I think that a break is coming. It's just to be determined for who.
Cross takes a snap from the shotgun, fires across the middle, complete to Nash Cahaly over the middle of the field at the 36, and he's wrestled out of bounds at the 38.
And those are those type of games that I think could swing the game for Pendleton, turn the tides for the Bulldogs, when you're getting guys like Cahaly and Jennings over the middle for those quick throws where they're open, they're able to break a tackle and use their speed.
One of the best plays through the air all night for the Bulldogs. It's a fresh set of chains, 1st and 10 from the 37, Handed off this time to Spear up the middle, trying to bounce it out to the right. Doing so unsuccessfully, as there to make the stop was Kevin Hatton, the linebacker.
Hatton with a couple big stops in the second half, able to just drive his legs and put the running back on the ground multiple times. Spear not able to go anywhere there after he's finding a hole, but the second level is getting filled so fast by these Tiger linebackers.
2nd and 9 for the Dogs from their own 39-yard line. 2 receivers out right. Ham Scott all by himself to the left by the near sideline, and Spear in the backfield with Gross. Gross takes a snap. He's going to hand it off to Spear up the middle. And another tackle for loss by this Crescent defense. This time number 5, Kevin Hatton, and number 6, Keontae Parks, combining to make the stop. Bulldogs are behind the chains again, 3rd down and long.
Hatton in there once again, a perfect form tackle, just like clockwork. It's a 3rd down and 10 for the Bulldogs, where I feel like you have to try to exploit the one-on-one matchup with Ham Scott that you're getting on the left side. He was one-on-one covered there, and he's going to be one-on-one covered again if they don't bring number 6, Keontae Parks, back into safety.
3rd down and 10, 8 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this game. Doubles formation for the Bulldogs. Gross takes a snap. Clean pocket. He's looking to throw down the left seam. It's going to fall incomplete, nearly intercepted. Ham Scott, the intended receiver there. It'll bring up 4th and long. Nice defense by the Tigers. An errant throw by Gross as Tron Paul nearly came away with the interception.
Yeah, they tried to run a switch concept on the left side with Sam Jennings and Ham Scott, where Scott was the outside receiver, and he's going to cut a little bit on the post. Jennings is going to run kind of like a wheel route. Jennings was kind of open there if Gross just waited a couple more fractions of a second and hit him on the sideline, but instead he tries to fire it deep to Scott. Not able to get there, but he gets the idea of trying to exploit Scott and his deep threat potential.
Forces another Sam Jennings punt. He gets it away from his own 26-yard line and bounces at the Crescent 35 and kind of checks up right there. And it will be down by Trent Garner. Excuse me, that was the 40-yard line. And that is where Crescent will begin their drive. Still scoreless here at Crescent High School. 8:01 remaining in the 4th quarter of action. A real barn burner here tonight between the Tigers and the Bulldogs.
And that's a multitude of consecutive punts there, Sam. It felt like 2-minute drive, 2-minute drive, 2-minute drive, punt, 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 punt. Remains to be seen which offense is really going to move the chains in a consecutive manner, moving it 3 or 4 times to be able to at least get into field goal range and try to give us something late.
1st and 10 from the 40. Direct snap to Latimer. Latimer in space. Latimer still on his feet. Breaks the tackle on the second level. He's going to go all the way down the far sideline. Touchdown, Crescent. Tigers are on the board.
What a play by Darius Latimer. He's the quarterback there. They motion out the usual quarterback, number 12, Mason Evans. Latimer just takes it straight up, and he moves left side. You think you have him down after about 4 yards, but no, you don't. He breaks it, and he takes it all the way for the first touchdown in this ball game in what could be the difference maker for the Crescent Tigers.
A 60-yard rushing touchdown off the direct snap for the running back, senior Darius Latimer.
That's his 9th rushing touchdown of the season, Sam, and it couldn't have come in a bigger moment.
Josiah Davis's extra point is up, and it is good. Crescent breaks the scoreless tie about midway through this fourth quarter. 7:49 remaining. The Bulldogs have to respond. We'll be right back. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin Chilli, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin Chilli Ice Cream Truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite bath in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com.
Samuel Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Crescent High School. Crescent just took the lead, 7-0. The first score of the game coming with 7:49 remaining in the contest. It was a 60-yard rushing touchdown by Darius Latimer off the direct snap. Obviously the biggest play of the game so far, and just a one-play drive to get it done.
No doubt about it. Punt after punt after punt from both sides, and all it takes is one play to make the difference. And Latimer puts his team up 7-0. If you're the Bulldogs now, if you score, considering how difficult those opportunities have been able to come by, you got to think about going for 2, Sam.
Absolutely, you do. The kick is away. It is fielded by Sam Jennings, looking to reverse course from right to left. He has some space down the near sideline, but similar to his previous kickoff return to open the game, forced out of bounds just across the 35-yard line. Bulldogs will start 1st and 10. From their own 36 on the left hash.
Jennings does a great job of reversing field, though, starting all the way on the far side of the field from our vantage point and cutting from right to left, finding those lanes, getting those pick blockers almost and moving to the 35. Great starting field position off of the kick return for the Bulldogs, thanks to Sam Jennings. Now, are they going to be able to get Jennings involved short like they have been on some big plays? You don't need to save it for 3rd down. Are you going to be able to get him over the middle? Are you going to be able to exploit Ham Scott in one-on-one coverage? Are you going to be able to run the football? All remain to be seen in one of these final drives for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs have to respond here. 1st and 10 from their own 36. Gross takes a snap. He'll fake the handoff, looking for Jamari Johnson on a slant. Is it intercepted? Picked off. It's intercepted, and he's going to take it all the way in for a touchdown. I thought that clearly hit the ground. That pretty clearly hit the ground from my vantage point.
They're going to call the pick 6 off of the deflection. It bounced off of the hand of the defender right into another Tiger, and they're going to say it was clean, and they're going to take it all the way back for a touchdown if they don't reverse this call.
The referee, who was in prime position to make the call, was absolutely decked on the play, and I'm like 95% sure that football hit the ground. But they're going to call it a pick 6.
It looked pretty clean to me. I'm going to be honest.
Deontay Parks.
It looked pretty clean to me. I think what they saw was, Gross fires over the middle of the slant. It's deflected by the defender coming over the top, making direct contact, and Keontae Parks just able to be the lucky recipient there, and he's able to just scoop it up on the deflection. Parks is kind of working back towards the play. He's like, maybe 2 yards from where the line of scrimmage is, where the play is like maybe 4 or 5 yards back. Parks just gets the ball coming back towards him, so coming back towards the quarterback, Jace Gross. Parks just picks it up, turns, and fires, goes all the way for the pick six. What a play for Keontae Parks. A very unfortunate turn of events for the Bulldogs, and one of the wackiest plays you'll ever see in terms of deflection pick six.
I apologize for not doing that call justice. I thought it hit the ground, but credit to Keontae Parks for staying with the play and taking it all the way back, putting the game away. I am confident saying that with a 36-yard pick six.
Crazier things have happened, Sam. Can't count it over until it's over, until the clock hits triple zeros. You never know in high school football, especially with the talent that Pendleton has on the offensive side of the football. Haven't been able to get it done so far today, but they got that big play potential.
If it's going to happen, they're going to need to chip away into this lead rather quickly, because you hold Crescent scoreless all night, and then all of a sudden, within 14 seconds of game action, you go from tied at 0 to down 14-0. Pretty crazy stuff.
Crazy switch.
Thank you for listening to Spirit Radio, Anderson Praise and Worship Gospel Station. If you're enjoying the music, if you're being encouraged by the message, then we hope your businesses will become one of our Spirit advertising sponsors. Spirit Radio is funded by advertising from our area businesses, churches, and by our listeners' generous donations. For more information, visit our website at spirit105.1.com or call us at 864-844-9089. We are in the Spirit all day, every day. Spirit given, Spirit driven, Spirit Radio.
A nice kick return by Jamari Johnson has the Bulldogs across midfield at the Crescent 49-yard line.
Join Advanced Auto Parts for a memorable and exciting grand opening celebration happening November 21st in Pendleton, South Carolina. Spirit Radio will be there, broadcasting live from 11 until 1 p.m. So again, come on out and help us celebrate the grand opening of Advanced Auto Parts in Pendleton, South Carolina on Highway 76 and 187 beside the Dunkin' Donuts. Happening November 21st. We hope to see you there.
Bulldogs have it. Now 2nd down and 6 from the Crescent 45-yard line. Gross flushed out to his right. He's going to be forced to check it down to Bray Spear, but it falls incomplete, bringing up 3rd down.
Gross just rolls out to his right there, not able to get a completion going. It's 3rd down and 6.
Bulldogs went from a scoreless tie deep into the second half of action before a quick strike 60-yard touchdown by Darius Latimer, followed by a Keontae Parks pick six to make it 14-0 here with 6.5 minutes remaining. Big 3rd down and 6. Gross takes a snap, clean pocket. He's going to fire underneath to Sam Jennings, and Jennings across the 40 to the 35 has enough for the 1st down.
Yeah, the Bulldogs putting together a great drive here in response. They haven't been able to do much all day in terms of moving the football, but they're doing it here late. They're responding to adversity. That pick six was crazy, something like these Bulldogs haven't seen so far this season off the tip, where they thought it was a dead ball. But here, they're responding now. Maybe it was the slap in the face that they needed. They're moving the ball with those intermediate passes.
1st and 10 from the Crescent 35, doubles for the Bulldogs. Gross drops back to pass, has plenty of time to throw. He fires underneath again for Nash Cahaly. Cahaly spins off a tackle, beats the free safety. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown. The Bulldogs cut into the lead just like that on a 35-yard touchdown reception by Nash Cahaly.
Cahaly puts the defense in a spin cycle there. A great job by Cahaly taking the drag, just like we were just talking about, Sam, where you're taking those short routes and you're taking that intermediate passing game and you're working with it. They've come to it, the Bulldogs. They found that rhythm on the drive, something they've been searching for all game. Cahaly able to take that drive from right to left, move it up the left sideline, spin back inside, make a juke move, and score the 1st touchdown of the game for the Bulldogs.
The extra point is up, and it is good by Bailey Gilbert. So just like that, after how many minutes is that? After 40 minutes, sorry, math is hard. After 40 minutes of scoreless action, within a minute and 45 seconds, we have 3 touchdowns. 14-7.
No blame at all. There's a reason I'm not a math major. It's hard. Hard stuff right there. But, man, you get an entire game pretty much, Sam. I get that's what you're saying. You get an entire game of no scoring. It looks stagnant. And just immediately, in 2 minutes, you got 3 scores. What a fourth quarter we got so far.
If you're just joining us, we went scoreless for 40 minutes. Then Crescent broke the scoreless tie with a 60-yard rushing touchdown on a direct stab by Darius Latimer. Just one play later, Keontae Parks doubled the Crescent lead when he picked off Jace Gross on a crazy tipped interception down the near sideline to make it 14-0. And now Pendleton responds with a quick 1 minute and 20-second drive to respond with a 35-yard touchdown reception by Nash Cahaly to make it 14-7. It's still anyone's ball game here at Crescent High School.
Absolutely, and desperation sparked the offense. Now, does momentum spark the defense? They need to pick up a stop if you're the Bulldog Dog Pound, coached by defensive coordinator Jeremy Johnson on this Tigers offense.
Chapman's kick is away. It's a good one. It's going to bounce into the end zone for a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for Crescent from their own 20.
Crescent's been able to move the ball with Darius Latimer. He scored that big 60-yard touchdown on a direct snap on a little bit of a tricky play. Might have even been a miscommunication, but Latimer just broke a couple tackles and was down the left sideline along the numbers. He's a beast, this guy. 9 touchdowns on the ground on the year, over 500 rushing yards, over 600 scrimmage yards. A great athlete, someone that the Tigers are definitely going to need to rely on if they want to close out this game and chew out the clock.
6:15 to play. Tigers have the ball on the right hash at their own 20-yard line. Pendleton has 3 timeouts. Crescent has 2. 2 receivers to each side for Crescent with the running back Latimer in the backfield. It's going to be a quarterback keeper snuffed out by the defensive front of Pendleton. Minimal gain on the play. It's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
Great play by Fisher Sailors, the weak side defensive end. He's all over that quarterback keeper. Looks like maybe a little bit of a speed option look with the running backs coming from the inside as the option player. Sailors all over it, completely capsizes on number 12, Mason Evans. Able to get there and sink the Titanic. Great job by Fisher Sailors.
5:45 to play. Crescent leads 14-7. 2nd down and 9 for Crescent from their own 21-yard line.
T formation, 2 backs surrounding Evans in the backfield.
Those 2 backs are Keontae Parks and Darius Latimer. They'll give it to Latimer, looking to bounce it off outside on the outside zone. And another great job tackling by the Bulldogs. It's no gain on the play. 3rd down and 9. This is your opportunity to get off the field.
And that's what an opportunity like that is going to get you, is team defense. Right? The entire defense was swarming to the ball. They were there the entire time. They looked like, entire sea of fish just schooling together, just working together the entire time. They moved from the middle of the field all the way over to the edge in unison, like a ball of fury. Love to see it. Big 3rd down now for the Dogs.
3rd down and 8. Ball on the 22-yard line for Crescent. Under 5 minutes to play here. Pendleton's crowd getting into it. Same formation for Crescent. This time it's an outside zone for Parks. Parks trying to cut it back upfield. He's still on his feet across the 30, close to the line to gain, and he does have enough on the second effort. A back-breaking play by the Pendleton defense. They had Parks in his grasp, but just allow him to scamper away for a 1st down.
The defense had Parks dead to rights, about 4 yards short of the line to gain, but Parks finds that second wind and just uses his legs to keep on churning, almost getting back up from a low position, 2 upright, and able to pick up the 1st down with that second effort, like you mentioned, Sam. A heartbreaker for the Bulldogs, and what could have been a game-changing play on stopping to get that ball right back to the red-hot offense of the Bulldogs in a play where the momentum was kind of shifting.
1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line, and a handoff in the backfield is absolutely blown up by Trent Garner. Well, what is new? But that was probably Trent Garner's best hit all season. That's really telling you something.
Absolutely. Garner just flew up the line and just sniffed out that play immediately. He knew where the ball was. He blew up the running back, just shoulder to chest. Love to see that from a football player.
So a big loss on 1st down for Crescent. 3 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. Pendleton's defense needing a stop as they trail 14-7 late here in the 4th quarter at Crescent High School. Motioning into the backfield is the running back Latimer. They'll give it to Latimer. Looking to bounce it off the left side. Gets through the first level of defenders and finally tackled by the second level across the 35 to the 36. It looks like Pendleton will spend its first timeout of this second half.
And a big hit there by Cody Williams to end the play. So back-to-back big hits from Cody Williams and Trent Garner. They're not willing to let this drive die. They're not willing to let their team get out of here. This defensive drive is a big one. They need to stop. They need to get their offense back out on the field. And even with the Tigers of Crescent picking up that first down just 2 plays ago, the defense not willing to give up. Great job by Williams, Garner, and the entire unit to force a big 3rd down and 7 here. Now with the timeout, both sides get a chance to talk it over.
Yeah, and we get a chance to talk it over as well. This play isn't necessarily for the game, but it sure would go a long way if the Bulldogs can get a stop. If you're the Tigers, you get a first down here, you get a new set of chains, and the Bulldogs only have 2 timeouts left. If you're the Bulldogs, do you stack the box and prepare for a run here, or are you a little bit wary of a play-action pass, a gadget play, as Crescent is pretty much just 1 first down away?
I think you've got to play hard flats on the outside. Keep your DBs there. Make sure that nobody's getting the edges, but you've got to stack the box. Because if anything, they're going with the gadget play. If they beat you deep, they beat you deep. You let them beat you deep, and you play one-on-one coverage.
2 running backs in the backfield, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They'll hand it off to the running back, Parks. Bouncing it outside. He stiff-arms a couple defenders and unfortunately picks up the first down before going out of bounds at the 47. That's a real crusher for the Bulldogs. They had a couple guys within arm's length of Parks as he came around that right side, but unfortunately Parks just makes a better play.
Parks does a great job just staying low to the ground and breaking that tackle, but he gets out of bounds at the end of the play, so that will stop the clock. Pendleton still with 2 timeouts. This ball game not over. This defense can bend and not break.
3 minutes, 16 seconds remaining in this one. Same formation with twin running backs in the backfield. That is Latimer and that is Parks. 1 receiver to the wide side of the field, 2 to the near side. This time a quarterback keeper right up the middle. He's still on his feet across the 45 to the 40 to the 35, 30 to the 25. What a run by Mason Evans. We do have a flag in the defensive backfield.
That's going to be too many players on the field for the Pendleton defense, it looks like. One player was limping off, not able to get that substitution in time.
The officials conferencing at the 36-yard line of Pendleton. Here comes the call. It is too many men on the field against the Bulldogs. So that'll add a little yardage. Excuse me, that's going to be a decline penalty, and Crescent has it at the 24-yard line. A gutsy call and a great play by Mason Evans, faking that outside zone that we've seen from either side and just taking it straight up the middle, bouncing outside to the near sideline, picking up the first down, and they're all the way down to the 24 of Pendleton.
Evans, even with that interception, has played a very good game today, kept his offense under control.
Here comes Evans again, identical play, and this time he gets it all the way down to the Pendleton 10-yard line.
Evans has a chance to put this game out of reach if he's able to get his offense into the end zone for a second time for the offense, 3rd time overall today.
Bulldogs still only with those 2 timeouts, 2:58 to play. Official whistles ready for play. There's 10 seconds remaining on the play clock with 2:55. Now 2:50 remaining, and they push the play clock back up to 25. So Crescent going to be able to take this all the way down to about 2 minutes and 27 seconds before they have to snap the ball. 1st and 10 from the Pendleton 10-yard line. 1st and goal, rather. Mason Evans takes a snap, hands it off to Keontae Parks. Parks will be brought down in the backfield for a loss, and Pendleton will spend its 2nd timeout. 2:25 remaining.
The Tigers' offense not out of the woods yet. Pendleton still has a couple timeouts, and the defense is not saying that they're going to quit. They're not throwing in the towel. They're still firing on all cylinders, making sure that they are booming off the line of scrimmage and getting down there and getting in the offensive backfield.
So you got to think that the Tigers are going to be able to run about 80 seconds off this clock. So if they were to either miss miss a conversion on fourth down or miss a field goal, you'd be getting the ball back with about a minute and 5 seconds and no timeouts.
And pretty much the entire length of the field to go.
So it's going to be second down and goal from the 13-yard line. Pendleton down to its last breath in this football game. If you're just joining us, we were scoreless for the first 40 minutes of action. It's been an action-packed last 5 minutes and 35 seconds. Darius Latimer got Crescent on the board with a 60-yard rushing touchdown on a direct snap to make it 7-0 Crescent. Then, just one play later after the kickoff, Keontae Parks brought back an interception on a tipped pass for a pick six to make it 14-0. Then Pendleton responding with a methodical drive and a 35-yard touchdown by Nash Cahaly. Crescent now looking to put the game on ice.
Got the ball deep in Pendleton territory. Pendleton down to one timeout.
First and goal from the 13. Twin running backs in the formation. They'll give it to Latimer. No, Hudson Evans will keep it himself. Runs through a couple defenders and finally taken down at the 8-yard line. Play fake was so good it even faked me up here.
Evans has been great on the play fakes today. Just a great job by him, just staying with the ball, and just pulling it at the last possible second where you're fighting all of the defense to come in, and you're taking away on the edge, and he's got the speed to do it. He's bouncing it outside pretty much every time that he gets the defensive end to bite. This will force Pendleton to use their last timeout, I believe.
They do use their final timeout, 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in this one. 14-7, Crescent on top. We'll take a quick break, and we'll have the final 2 minutes on the other side. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin Chilli, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin Chilli ice cream truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite baths in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event.
Third down and goal from the 8-yard line. 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in this one. Crescent with the ball on top, 14-7. Bulldogs have got to keep them out of the end zone. Flipping the formation again and joining the quarterback Evans in the backfield is Latimer. Latimer takes the handoff off the right side, still on his feet near the goal line. He's going to be stopped a bit short.
Just short, I believe, for Latimer.
Spotted at the 1-yard line. 2 minutes remaining, 34 seconds on the play clock. Got to think Crescent's going to run another play to try to punch this in and put this game out of reach.
They have to, and if they are able to do so, this would take one heck of a goal line stand from Pendleton.
Not only that, but then you have to go 99 yards down the field just to tie the game.
Absolutely. The Tigers looking to put this game on ice.
Looks like Crescent's going to call a timeout with 1 second left on the play clock, letting it go all the way down. It's going to go down to 1 minute and 26 remaining in the football game. That is exactly what they're going to do. 1:27 actually remaining in the game. We'll take another quick break. Bulldogs have got to get a stop. Fourth down and goal from the 1.
Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They are proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they are recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They are headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, making them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. Samuel Goodrow, David Poley back with you here from Crescent High School. Crescent leads 14-7. Minute 27 remaining. Crescent has it. Fourth and goal from the 1. Bulldogs have to have this goal line stand. Pistol formation. quarterback Mason Evans in there with Darius Latimer as the tailback.
Everyone in the box for Pendleton. Here's the snap. They fake the handoff, and the Bulldogs make the stop. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Evans went to make the handoff, and nobody was there. He was brought down for a loss. The Bulldogs are going to have 82 seconds remaining with no timeouts, but an opportunity to tie this game. What a goal line stand.
Absolute bones from the Bulldogs defense. Just the guts to get it done. Give your offense a chance to win the football game, no matter how small that chance is. That's this Bulldogs team. Never quit fighting. DDVP.
Devotion, diligence, vigilance, and perseverance being put on display here tonight at Crescent High School. Unfortunately, Trent Garner, the injured Bulldog, on the play.
And that's the guy that represents those values more than maybe any other player, Sam. That's the motor of this Bulldog defense. He's giving it all tonight. He just might need a couple more seconds before he walks off of his own power.
Good to see Trent Garner, the star edge rusher, walking off the field under his own power. A big-time 4th and goal stand by the defense. Now it's the offense's turn. They have the ball at their own 5-yard line. Got 82 seconds remaining in this football game. Got to go 95 yards to have a chance in this one.
They can do it. They've got that intermediate passing game going late. Going to need a lot of those chunk plays, Sam.
So 1st down and 10 from their own 5 for the Bulldogs. From the left hash, going from our right to left. Data and I stationed on the visitor's sideline. Gross takes a snap, clean pocket. He's going to dump it down to Jamari Johnson out of the backfield. He'll go out of bounds. Gain of about 6 on the play, but the Bulldogs get out of the shadow of their own goal line.
Get out of the shadow of your own goal line. Clock still stopped, and you got a big chunk play there. Great first play to start the drive. Exactly what the doctor ordered.
So it'll be 2nd down and about 5 from the 10 now. 1:16 remaining. Coming in motion from right to left is Mellow Mattress. Gross takes a snap, clean pocket, looking to throw underneath, and a big hit delivered as Mellow Mattress makes the grab short of the line to gain at the 15, actually the 14. Clock's still moving.
Bulldogs got to get back very quickly, run another play. Pick up these chains. They'll get a couple seconds of leeway, but they got to get back there.
Clock stopped for some reason.
The officials conferencing once again.
Might have a penalty flag against the Bulldogs. Sheldon Evans, head coach of the Crescent Tigers, looking for an explanation. Still waiting on the umpire to put the ball down. Got a penalty against the Bulldogs. Not sure what it was. The ball's going to be spotted back at the 5. We're going to play 2nd down again. 1:11 remaining on the clock. Bulldogs got to go 95 yards in that amount of time. Trailing 14-7 after a nice 4th and goal stand from the 1. Doubles formation for the Bulldogs. Johnson, the running back, in for the usual spear. Gross takes a snap, clean pocket. He's looking to throw. He'll have Johnson again in the flat. Johnson, very similar to the play at the start of this drive, is going to go out of bounds. That's a 13, actually the 12. So 1:05 remaining, 3rd down and 3 from the 11.
Johnson's going to turn in the receiving back for this offense. He's going to be out there a lot for this final drive as somebody who gives an extra pass catcher for Gross in the offense. And it's also going to be a pretty decent pass blocker if they elect to keep him back there.
Bulldogs going to need to look to throw it down the field. 1:05 remaining. 3rd and 3 from the 11. Gross looking to throw. He's going to take it himself. He's scrambling across the 15 to the 17-yard line. That's going to stop the clock momentarily to move the chains, but the Bulldogs have got to go quickly. Fresh set of chains. Nice quarterback scramble by Jace Gross. Bulldogs are right back on the football. Gross is going to spike the football with 52 seconds remaining.
This gives Coach Grayson Owl a full 40-second play clock to dial up the play for his quarterback. For him to execute, to try to put this offense in the best position possible going forward. Going to need a big chunk play. You've been dealing with a lot of the receivers going over to the middle. Gross has gotten pressured a little bit these past two throws, had to check it down. You can give him something over the middle with maybe a Cahaly or a Jennings, where they can just break some speed after a little point of contact.
2nd and 10 from their own 18 on the left hash. Gross dropping back. He's looking to throw. Flushed out left. He's going to keep it himself across the 20 to the 22. Going out of bounds again. 45 seconds remaining. That'll stop the clock. The Bulldogs have got to start making some throws down the field.
They have to, but in the meantime, they're doing a very good job of hugging the sideline, keeping the clock stopped, and waiting for their moment. They're waiting for that big chunk play. They're going to keep throwing looks out until they get an opportunity where Gross likes it enough to fire it downfield.
So 3rd down and 5. Bulldogs at the 23-yard line. Doubles formation. Gross takes a snap. Jamari Johnson in to protect. Flushed out left again. Gross is going to fire it incomplete, throwing it away to the Bulldogs sideline. Here it is, 4th down and 5.
Now you got to pick it up no matter what. You can't be worried about the clock. Can't be worried about hugging the out-of-bounds line. 4th down and 5, 37 seconds remaining. You got to get your best players out there. Get Johnson, Ham Scott, Jennings, Cahaly, Mattress. Get them all out there. Make sure everybody's going over the middle. Don't force Gross to look for one read and then roll. Give him so many options where he can just fire quickly.
10 seconds on the play clock. Doubles formation. 4th down and 5. It's do or die right here. Gross takes a snap. He's going to fire to the sideline. It clanks off of the intended receiver, incomplete. Crescent's going to win the football game 14-7.
Great read there by Gross. Had to do what he had to do. He fired it to Cahaly, went right off his helmet. Just not able to pick that one up. But a little out route concept, made a quick read, fired, not able to get it done. It'll be a heartbreaking loss for the Bulldogs.
Heartbreaking loss for the Bulldogs. They're going to fall to 3-5 and 1-3 in the region. I'm pretty sure that all but seals their fate as the number 4 seed out of Region 1.
Very difficult for a team that has fought so close in this game and definitely not, your typical last place in a region type of team. They'll have to look to next week against Blue Ridge, at Blue Ridge, to get some momentum going in to the 32-team playoff.
Victory formation, and Mason Evans is going to take a knee. That's going to do it here from Crescent High School. Final score, Crescent 14, Pendleton 7, as we transition into the Reigns on Exchange postgame show. Crescent improving to 4-4 overall, 2-1 in the region. They will advance to play Walhalla next week. A big one for Crescent in that one. They win that one. They are the number 2 team in the region, with Walhalla falling to BHP at home tonight. For the Bulldogs, you have a non-region contest next week against Blue Ridge, a final tune-up for what's going to be a difficult run in the playoffs. You're going to be facing a number 1 seed on the road to start the playoffs.
Absolutely. It's going to be very tough. You need the win next week against Blue Ridge. You got to get your guys going, and you got to figure out some kinks on offense.
If you joined us late, you probably didn't miss that much unless you are just now joining us. A scoreless first 40 minutes of action, then Crescent getting on the board first with a 60-yard rushing touchdown by Darius Latimer on a direct snap after a back-and-forth first 40 minutes without either team getting on the board. Crescent taking a 7-0 lead on that one. Then after the kickoff, just one play later, Keontae Parks picking off a deflected pass of Chase Gross, picked it off, returned it all the way back to the house for a 35-yard pick six. That made it 14-0 Crescent. Then the Bulldogs responded with a Nash Cahaly 35-yard touchdown reception to make it 14-7 on what was a really nice run after the catch by Cahaly. Then the Bulldogs making a nice goal line stand on the final Crescent drive, but then unfortunately turning it over on downs were the Bulldogs.
Yeah, unfortunately, not able to get it done. Some things you can look on, but very frustrating. Very sloppy game by both sides. Very dormant for the first 40 minutes of the game. A lot of penalties, lot of penalties. Unsportsmanlike contact there. Very chippy game, rivalry. You're going to get it from both sides. But Crescent, the Tigers, come out the victor at home.
Crescent victorious on senior night. I'd like to take one last opportunity to thank each and every one of our sponsors: Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guy's Pizza, Black Tie of Anderson, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Gettin Chilli Ice Cream Truck, West Cox Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, Foothills Church of Pendleton, Crenshaws TV and Appliances, United Community Bank, Tiger Express Wash, McDougald's Funeral Home, Outsider Coffee, Mac.Bid, and our title sponsor, Longhorn Steakhouse. This has been Pendleton Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. That's going to conclude the Rains on Exchange post-game show. For David Poley, for Jeannie Burris back at the studio, for Nick Malden, who was with us for the first half, I'm Samuel Goodrow saying God bless.